everybody. We are here in Florida, getting ready to go to DragonCon up in Atlanta. But we're here for a little bit, so we're doing a broadcast today. Hope everybody's had a good week. Wow, it's only been 1 week since the last time we were broadcasting. Is that right, Maddie?
Only 1 week.
It seems like it's been a lot longer than that.
It does because we've been working.
Much stuff. We have been doing nothing but working, really. Most of the days this week, I have not actually proper gone to bed, taken my contacts out, etc. So if I've
been having some weird late nights myself.
Yeah, a lot of all-nighters this week. That's usually the week before DragonCon.
Yeah, the week before DragonCon is very hard.
It's
especially since we are gone a lot of the summer.
Yeah, we should have probably planned on coming home a bit earlier before we did, but I had to be at Disney, and that was an anniversary thing with Disney, so I had to be there on a specific day, and yeah, that's how it goes.
So the real quick, guys, the raffles today are the
are people already joining the
pins.
raffle? Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're the DragonCon pins. Like last week.
Yeah. So this will be good for those of you who can't come to DragonCon, or those of you who want to get pins that aren't going to be there, and you want to get backup pins or etc. Let me show them off. But we're doing one per hour, I think, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is the first one the baby dragon?
It is.
Okay.
And
Baby
she or
dragon,
he is a cutie.
Dragon? Yeah, I don't know.
You
It's hard
think-
to tell
what-
with dragons. Maybe they're
Yeah.
like parrots, and you've got to do a
They're
blood
like
test.
parrots. You have to
Or
do
you
a
just see how they're
DNA
going to
test.
identify
Yeah.
it, and they're just going to, But he's or she is the official purple and yellow of DragonCon, and we will be giving this little one away. Is it on, is it Friday and Monday for this one, love?
Let me double check the.
Okay, the order in which we give them away at DragonCon. But in the meantime, we're giving one of these little fellas, ladies, away today, and that will be the first one, like in about an hour. If you haven't been here before, you go in the chat room.
Jasmine?
Raffle, ! Raffle. Yeah.
You're correct. Friday and Monday.
Friday and
we
Monday.
have split.
We always split that.
I think that's
Friday
clever.
and Monday. Well, a lot of
That was your
times,
idea,
if
and
you
I
can
think
only
it's really
come
smart.
For 3 days, and
Right.
you're either going to miss Friday or you're going to miss Monday because
Right.
maybe you're grown up and you're not in school, so you don't want to miss, that next Monday, but you might get Labor Day weekend off. So, but, it's one of those things. But super cute. It's the same mold we used for the baby red dragon.
But with those beautiful DragonCon
that was-
colors.
Yeah, but it's the purple and yellow. So pretty.
I really like the DragonCon colors in the
Too,
design.
and it's relatively recent because if you look at the older ones, like the DragonCon colors were different colors, kind of. But for since they've been kind of branded with a larger company, they've gone with the purple and yellow, and it's almost a gold yellow. I like it.
So
Good contrast.
Jasmine,
Yeah.
what are you working on right now? And tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, I sure will.
And tell us about your background. Why would this be a fun painting for you to do?
Well, I don't know how good you can see this. Sorry. I've got a piece of wood here I'm painting on as usual, and I've just got a whole bunch of masking tape on the back, and that's how I stick it onto my easel. Very fancy. Get it at Home Depot. But this is one of the Dice Fairy paintings, and I've only started on it an hour or two before we started broadcasting. I forget. I started sketching it this morning, maybe not this morning, maybe around lunchtime. And this is the lovely that is also going to be one of the paintings for DragonCon. I pushed things up to the last minute. I did start on the layout for it probably a month or two ago, but I've been away from my Florida studio, so I haven't had a lot of time. I grew up playing Dungeons and Dragons with my family, with my sisters, with my father, and that's kind of how I got into fantasy art. So when I get to do dice-themed paintings, I am all about it. I'll show you guys here too. I know we stopped talking about the giveaways after the first one, but we'll get back to that. What I've done is I have my own little bag of my favorite dice. I tend to like the transparent dice. They're my favorite ones as far as painting, especially. And the other ones I've done have mostly been opaque. So I'm trying to challenge myself by painting some transparent dice. So these are the actual dice that are featured in the painting. I set them up in a little pile here. I don't know if you can see the rest of my house or my kitchen here, but you can see the little dice here, and I've taken a picture with my phone. I printed it out, and I've been looking at this while I was sketching everything. So I know that the numbers are in the right place. If you have dice, and especially if you're really into dice and you're like, oh, why would that be a 6 if the 2 wasn't to the left of it on a D6? So I want to make sure I do it right. Also, I like to see how the different colors of the dice will interact with each other. For example, if you look at this side of the yellow, you'd see, oh, that kind of makes the green one look yellow there, or that kind of makes the white one look purple. And so I kind of set up like a still life, as if one were to put a bunch of fruit and vegetables and seashells or something. I've done that with my own little dice. Took the picture so I can look at it. So I'll probably be referencing this a lot depending on how much I work on the dice and how much I work on the character.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
What's the title of this painting?
I don't know. That's why I keep calling it Dice Fairy.
That Nintendo guy.
Fairy August or something. I don't know.
That Nintendo guy has a suggestion.
Oh, what is it?
The Dungeon Master.
Oh, you know, that could be good depending on what I decide to do with the background. I'll show you guys what I've done with the other ones and what I'm talking about. If you look at some of the other Dice Fairies I've done, they haven't had a whole lot happening in the background. I usually throw a dragon in there to try to kind of D&D it up a bit. But the one I did, this isn't last year, I was the year before. I forget. It's whatever year I did for the Hyatt Hotel Company, I did the hotel cards. This is just a bad printout, but I did one and I put kind of a dungeon-y sort of castle ruins in the background. Not very exciting background, but it has more of a background than the other one. So depending on how much of a background I put in it, I might use the word dungeons in it. I know Dungeons and Dragons specifically is a
Dungeon Keeper.
Dungeon Keeper, yeah, I'd have to probably get Leonard or get my legal dude to like look up and see if it's not even TSR, it's not even Wizards of the Coast, it's Hasbro owns Dungeons and Dragons right now, so I'd have to make sure it wasn't a word that they use legally, but yeah.
Shaylee just has a confession.
Oh, what's that, Shaylee?
She's actually from the South.
Is she really?
Of the U.S.
I didn't know that. That is surprising.
It's a joke, but yeah,
okay.
She's been saying y'all.
Oh, well, that's a good inclusive term for multiple, like second person plural. We don't really have one other than y'all. I know technically you is also a second person plural, it's correct? True. But
y'all is good.
Y'all is good. Y'all's good. But
or if you want to sound more educated, you can say you all.
Or you can say use. You apostrophe S-E,
nice.
Depending what part of the country you're from, but you can say you.
Jasmine, we have a request.
Oh, what's on?
Tigger wants to see the completed Ninja Dragons 3.
I can show you that because I completed it.
Do you want me to fetch it?
Yeah, it's over on my big easel that I promise you will be seeing more from me.
And then Mimi has a question. Is this painting the first larger of all the first larger of all the D&D that has been made in the past? I think she means the biggest.
So I think I'm trying to remember. Maddie, do you remember what size dice Dragonlings was? The one I did for Hyatt?
12 by 16?
I want to say it was 11 by 14. It might have been 9 by 12, but I think it was either 9 by 12 or 11 by 14. So this is it is not that much bigger. This is not, again, this is like a crappy print, or a not very good printout I did.
I like these paintings. They're so remarkably nerdy.
They're so good for a place
that
that focuses on gaming and dragons. It's called DragonCon. I mean, but here, I'll show you guys. You Patreon fancy people have seen these before.
I was also referring to the ninjas.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Well, to be fair, the first ninja one I did was for DragonCon too.
Remember that?
Actually, the first and second ones I did were, yeah.
Remember that year for my birthday, I got a grappling hook and a blowgun?
Yes, that was very ninja of you. Yeah. You're not the first person I've given a grappling hook to for the birthday, though.
Amber.
Yeah, Amber. But anyways, here is the Ninja Dragonlings 3, which is the third and final. There's 6 characters I did for the Hamilton collection about 10 years ago, isn't it? And I've done it in groups of 2. Yeah, I think it would have been like 2006 or something. No, that's even longer. 13 years ago. All right.
I can keep this handy, or if you want to show, would it be easier to show the
I do have a printout of it, but this is the actual painting.
I'll keep this handy too.
But I finished her one, or I say her, but it's really multiple people. Yeah, it might be better to show the smaller version.
Put that there. It's just
here.
We can't. If we hurt that one, it's not as big a deal.
And I think the original has been spoken for many times over, but here's a printout. This is what we do for color correcting when I look at different monitors and I look at the scan that I've done, and I print it out on my little printer here, and then Matt looks at it compared to the big printer by his place. And
so Mimi's loving Ninjas 3.
Yeah, it's turned out really good. In some ways, I'm a better painter now, so when I do a series, the most recent one tends to be better than the other ones. I really like the other two, though. I think they fit together, too, as a trilogy. Yeah.
Several people knew that Dice Dragling's original is 9x12.
Oh! You guys are awesome. You guys are better than I am.
I'm a bit terrified of you guys.
Yeah. Huh?
I'm a bit terrified.
Oh, yeah, it'd be glad people know. So yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think this one was 9x12. I think it had to be a 3-to-4 ratio because it was part of the Hyatt room keys for DragonCon. One year did they let me do all 3 room keys, or was that like a fever dream? I forget. I did 3, right? Didn't I?
Absolutely, you did.
Yeah, I did all of them for all the host hotels for 1 year on very short notice. I love Billy Messina, but wow, yeah.
We were given a few by our friend Billy.
Yes, Billy is instrumental to DragonCon.
Maybe
there
we
would not be a
his name
without him. Okay, but not his name's not Billy. His name's John Doe. But
because he's important and he's always amazing. Incognito.
Yes. He is, and he's an amazing person.
I think he's a sweetheart. Really, he is. Every time I've had a conversation,
and he knows what's good. So, but yeah, I that was the year on short notice. I had to do all the Hyatt hotels and the Hilton and the Marriott hotel key cards. Like when you are at DragonCon and you have a little card to go to your room, they do special cards that you do to get into your room because it's DragonCon.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
I saw not too long ago. I was going through some box or something. I saw a couple more of those cards.
Of which ones?
The DragonCon cards, the key cards.
Oh, really? I was like actual,
maybe in the future.
Ones. You don't mean like on my computer? You mean in a drawer, or like? Oh God, is it my horrible art cabinet? Tell me.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow.
But at any rate, wouldn't those be good Patreon prizes?
Those would be good Patreon prizes. Yeah, I think it's a bit late to bring to the game as far as Twitch goes, but that I should totally open up my art cabinet and get all weird old stuff that people might like and are just collecting dust here in my studio and give it away on Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon people. Yeah, they, we sometimes
we don't do giveaways there because that's gambling.
No, that's not.
So we just randomly surprise people.
Yeah. Isn't it nice to have a surprise?
It's nice to get randomly surprised. But yeah, I have not decided a name yet.
Am I from the South, the deep South? Haha, I reckon y'all get that reference.
Well, it depends on who you ask. If you want to be really technical about it, Missouri is. People use the word Midwest, but we were kind of a flippy-floppy state as far as the Civil War goes, which is kind of embarrassing.
That is where the term Missouri Compromise comes from.
Oh, yes, which is also a term for a certain haircut.
My favorite term for a certain haircut.
Lord. Yeah.
And if you have that haircut, I would love to brush your hair.
It's probably coming back. Maybe it's ironic now. I don't know. But I'll show you. I've been working on the little dice here, and again, here's my picture. It is not exact. It isn't a thing where I could print it out and trace over it because I'm trying to make it look like the dice are coming closer to the viewer. So the ones that are closer to the viewer, like this one, the D4, and this one, I've changed the size of it a bit. But I can look at this, and I took a flashlight and masking taped it off to the left because I knew I would want the light source on my character here to be up to the upper left. So I kind of did a little layout here. Ignore the little dragon fairy in the background. Looks like she's up to something, but she really didn't have anything. Originally, I was like, oh, maybe I could set one of my little models there and see if she would model for it. But I was like, no, I want the dice to be bigger. I don't want to look like the fairy's actually playing regular dice. I want to look like she's very small and she's part of part of, like, she's the lucky fairy on your shoulder when you're trying to get a D20.
Yeah, because these fairies would have to lift weights.
Yeah, so I wanted to set her on there, and I have been treating it the way I would do if I was painting a bunch of pieces of glassware or something. Yeah.
In the chat, we're talking about stockings.
Stockings,
what color do you think they'll be?
Oh, I thought you meant like people being predatory on other people. Tights. I don't know. I have not really put a lot of thought. A lot of the reason I start to put little stripes on legs, first of all, a lot of my characters have that, but second of all, it helps me from looking at a perspective view to think, oh, the viewer is kind of at waist level, which is important when you're looking at something like a still life. I don't want to take a picture from the top, so I'm seeing the top of the numbers. I'm kind of getting down at the table level when I took this picture. I want it to kind of look like I'm at knee length. So if it's above that length, I've got kind of the stripes are going upwards, and on the eye line, they're kind of going sideways. And if they're lower than that, I'm kind of making like a U
Jasmine
shape. So I don't know if I'll even end up making them striped, but that's kind of a guide for me, and that's why a lot of my characters have striped stockings. Yeah.
Blob Help, our friend from California, says painting the color spill/bleed has got to be challenging.
Oh yeah, it's to be honest, it's not so much with acrylic paints, because if I smudge over and I paint all over something, acrylics are very opaque. So if I make a mistake, or I'm like, oh, I don't want to make that purple, or I want to make that yellow, I can paint right on top of that as soon as it's dry. And if it's not dry, I got my hair dryer, and I can make it dry in like 8 seconds. So I will just paint on top of that. And you can probably tell, again, I like to show my reference photos so people know what I'm talking about. But if you look at, I put a light, and these are transparent dice, and Matt knows I chose transparent dice on purpose, didn't I, Matty? At first, I thought I had a transparent color of each type of dice, and I did not do. So I had to get 1 or 2 of them Amazon primed over, and I
did not want opacity.
I was like, no, I'm not going to start doing the color rough until I actually get my Amazon Prime of that other dice, the purple one, the light purple, not the dark purple. And I put a lot of research into these. And when I do, if you look at them, you're like, oh, that one's purple, and that's kind of turning into yellow. It kind of makes it brown on that side. And that's a very good reference to have, but I can kind of amp that up, and I will definitely change that when I get to actually painting it, because I want it to look like she's sitting on a rainbow of dice. And once I finish the actual colors of what is kind of my still life for the dice, I will think about what colors I'm going to put on everything else. I don't even know at this point what color dragon that's going to be. I don't know what color hair she's going to have. I don't even know what skin tone she's going to have. It's going to be, I put a bunch of lighter tones and darker tones, but that can be something I can glaze color over at any point. And that's more of a dark, light, shadow, highlight sort of thing than it is like on a sort of specific chroma. And this is the sort of painting I really, no pun intended, I kind of nerd out on. I want it to almost look like stained glass at the bottom, and I think it's going to be lovely. It's like, I'll take a piece of tape. You know what I'm going to do? This is probably very boring to watch, but I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm going to cut down this, because the photo I took, I think I had it on a low setting on my phone.
Would you like me to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay.
I think I had it like on, you know when you can send a picture on your phone and it says small, medium, large, or actual size. I'm usually not lazy, but I don't have a lot of time, and a lot of our internet is not very good in some of the places we've chosen to live. So I tend to have very low res photos, and I email them to myself. So I've got a little picture here, and I might tape this off to the side and look at that. I've also kept all the exact dice I had when I was making this little still life. Again, ignore my messy kitchen or whatever's in the background. But these are the exact same dice I used for doing the setup on here. So if I need to look at them like, oh, is that a 7 or is that a 1? I can look at it and say, oh, that's a 7. It's next to a 4 on the bottom, so I would know that on a D10. So I'm going to take some masking tape.
Oh, Jasmine,
yeah.
Husky Lovers, and I think that you, I saw you at saw Husky at help me out, Planet Comic-Con.
Oh, in Kansas City, yeah.
And they said they're coming down one of Jasmine's weekends, and Tammy will be
at
there.
the Renaissance Festival? Is
Yeah,
that what you're talking about when you say one of my weekends?
I'm sorry.
One of my weekends at the Renaissance Festival. Yes, we didn't even talk much about the Renaissance Festival last time because I didn't know what days I was going to be there because I didn't know my Disney schedule yet. But we do know the Renaissance Fair dates now. As always, my booth is open at the Kansas City Renaissance Fair the entire length of the 2 months that the festival is open. But it always opens. Like opening day is Labor Day weekend, which is always the weekend that DragonCon is. So I will never be at the Renaissance Fair in Kansas City on Labor Day weekend.
Unless you're not doing DragonCon.
Unless I'm not doing DragonCon. And that's always funny because there are usually like a handful of people like, oh my gosh, you're not going to be at DragonCon. I'm like, no, I'm just...
If we only sell $3 worth of merchandise this year... We'll probably have to let DragonCon go.
Oh, I don't know because I have not been in the America's Mart building before. Maybe some of the people here in the room have, and I have never been in the America's Mart building, so I don't know what to expect from it.
Blob Help says, speaking of the Ren Fest, do you have a prelim of the pin? Do you have a print out?
Golly, I don't... Did I print that out last time, or did I not do that?
You didn't. I don't think
so. I posted
it's a great design.
I have posted it on my event page for the Ren Fair. Do you have that handy?
Yeah, I can fetch it.
Okay. Also, too, I posted it. If you guys are pin collectors and you are not in the pin collector group on Facebook, you are missing out because I have a couple thousand people up there, and I post there when I have new events. But,
before I do that, I'm going to post the DragonCon Facebook event page.
Okay,
and then I'm going to also
maybe just post the event page because that has like every event I'm going to do, and a lot of people don't know about it because Facebook is really Facebook is really dumb about sharing things like that.
And I found maps online for America's
Yes,
Mart.
those of you who have been asking about maps for the America's Mart building at DragonCon this coming weekend.
So those are the
we found
last things I posted.
They didn't send it to us, but we found it online. That's how stuff works sometimes. I mean, we found it online. We found it online, I don't know, 20 minutes ago.
Yep, that's how we roll.
Yeah, I was already, like, adjusting the lights to make sure you could see my painting, and Matt's like, I found the floor plan. So, yeah. Anyways.
And here's the general one for events.
Yeah, and I don't know if they still have it. I keep telling people, if you click subscribe, it will tell you when there's new events. I don't even know if that's still a thing.
Are you building 2 floor 3? I believe so.
We're on floor 3. Yeah.
I think it's building 2 floor 3.
I don't know about building numbers. I can't find... I've never been to America's Mart building. I've always been in the basement.
Well, I think it has to be because building 1 doesn't... It only has 2 floors.
Well, how many buildings are there? Are there like 9 buildings? Or there's only 2 buildings?
I think building 1, 222.
Okay. Yeah, so
they even have a 4th floor, Jasmine.
They have a 4th floor?
In America's Mart.
Oh my gosh. Do other people know about this? Or is it
it's where Comics and Pop is.
Oh, is that? Oh, like our neighbors from the art show.
You know, I have so many friends up there. It's crazy.
Well, I'm glad we're going to be in the same building with a lot of our friends. I'm going to miss a lot of our art show friends, though. That's going to be kind of sad. We've been at the art show in the Hyatt at DragonCon for 14, 15 years. A long time. So it will be weird being in a different building, but it's allegedly going to be safer for everybody as far as
we've been in
fires go and not blocking other people's booths go.
We've been in the Hyatt so long that it's had enough time for the character Batman to become jaded, train, fight everyone, and then retire.
Yeah, exactly.
All those 3 things.
That's probably a good way to say it. I wouldn't know how to parse that, but man. Yeah, so 15 years of being in the art show, which is amazing. And definitely go to the art show still, people. There are a lot of really cool people down there.
They hand out maps to a ton of people. You know what?
I think there's an app too, which makes me sound like I'm an idiot because I don't have the app. I've never had the DragonCon app.
I got the app.
Probably. Are we on the app? Okay, thank you,
I got
sir.
the app last year,
and
I got confused by it and just started playing Plants vs. Zombies.
Well, yeah, I think that's kind of what they depend upon.
No, the
they
Plants
probably
vs.
have a
Zombies
booth
people.
there, man. Yeah. I don't know, but B-Pal is going to be on in the America's Mart. Did I tell you that, Mandy?
Do we know
that has nothing to do with my decision?
I apologize.
B-Pals, man.
Oh,
Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab.
Well, I will cover for you and say Jasmine's went to the bathroom and she'll come back smelling very good.
I bet I will.
Or not, because B-Pal has some weird stuff.
Coming back from the bathroom. Yeah, B-Pal is fantastic. Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab, I've collected their perfumes for decades, and I am looking forward to actually being somewhere I can try them out instead of reading their scent notes, which are always pretty much on the money, but I'd like to see them in person.
We will not be at the art show at all, Nuckator.
They the people who are running the art show now, because the art directors from the past however many years have retired, so the people who are running it now are the same folks that are running the vendors area, so I kind of had to pick one or the other, and he was
wondering if we had a panel.
More room. No, I had to pick one or the other.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I had to pick one or the other, and
one of the reasons I think
there's like
once I told Jasmine, hey, they don't have print shop because that was such a big thing.
Yeah, print shop was a big part of it.
They may get that back. It just didn't seem like.
I don't even know. It seemed very different, and our friends who ran it have retired, and
now that may change in the future.
Oh, it might have already changed, but they make you decide this like a year ahead of time. So that's.
I'm saying for us, Jasmine.
Yeah.
We may have a panel down there eventually.
Yeah, if they let me. I'd like to, but no. So if you know anybody who is coming to see us, don't go in the basement of the Hyatt. Even after 15 years of doing so, go up to the America's Mart building I've never been to, and go to the third story.
So Bob asks, and my gosh.
Like Bob and Angie Bob?
Yeah, his wife's in the room too.
So. Okay.
I'm sorry for sounding mercenary.
Oh, that's okay. I like this conversation already. What's up?
We're used to that. But if I was going to make a single high budget purchase from you for someone's 20th wedding anniversary, what would you think would gain in value the most over the long term? Absolutely an original painting.
An original painting more than anything. After that, I would say a masterpiece limited edition. Then I would say it's almost a toss-up between a regular limited edition, like one that we did 25 of, and maybe a pin that is rare.
I was going to say, or a weird statue that never came into production.
Or a statue that never came into production is almost worth more than an original, because it's kind of an original itself. Or something that is like the ones I was showing last weekend when I was working on the ninjas, like the Ninja Dragonling statues that sold out 10 years ago before anybody cared about them really. Those would be super popular. I have gotten into, not arguments, but I have tried to moderate arguments between people about these ninja statues. And some of the other Hamilton ones are... Oh my god, yeah, show my Mickey. Yeah, you can show it. Good luck, guys, yeah.
Currently the most valuable item in our...
It is probably worth more than one of my $20,000 original paintings.
And our cats could knock it over.
My cats could, they've knocked over my other paintings and statues.
The signatures on it.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And
this
was back before you weren't
Before I did work for Walt Disney other than for
that
the
would totally have went into production.
Oh, I know. This was a long time ago. Yeah, this was 10 years ago, and it was it was right before
you've shown it.
Yeah,
you have the concept art for that
I do. Yeah, but those are so rare that you'd have to know somebody who worked for the company to get them. But no, if you're asking about in general, I would say original paintings first, then something. Well, actually, I didn't think about it, but ACEOs. Because I only do one of those for each painting. So that's like the next thing after an original painting would be an ACEO. And some of those, they sometimes they solve more for the ACEO than they do the original painting, because the originals I tend to have at special events, or I have them for Patreon people, or something that regular people can't buy. And the ACEOs go up on eBay, and everybody could buy those. But it's
okay. So Jasmine, Blob Help says if money was no question, I would buy the original double.
Yeah,
I agree with you. That is my favorite painting of Jasmine's currently.
It's one of my favorite.
And it has been since she's painted it.
Too. I've worked on that at Twitch.
It will be at DragonCon.
It will be at DragonCon.
You can see it in person.
We're actually. That's part of the fun of DragonCon is I bring a lot of my paintings there that you can come look at, even if you don't want to buy something. It's
off the top of my head, I have a price. I just don't want to say the wrong thing.
I don't remember what the price is on that because I painted it earlier this year. I think I finished it in February.
Flash figures
I'm not going to be able to see you, baby. You're more than 10 feet away from me, and that's about. I can see about this far. I can't.
9,500. Yep.
Okay, that sounds about right.
That's what I was thinking.
Say,
that Nintendo guy.
If I was to do it now, I'd probably say 10,500 because I have to keep up with whatever the galleries are selling that same size for. Which is why I say things like
if we don't keep up with what the galleries will sell,
then it looks like
they oversell, like they overcharge.
No, it makes me look like I'm trying to cheat the gallery. So,
both.
Yeah,
honestly, it looks both.
Yeah, so that's why sometimes I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be 3,000 or 3,400.
A good lesson for someone who's thinking about going to the gallery.
Yeah.
You have to get in cahoots with them. As far as
cahoots is a strong word, love. No,
is it?
No, it's not really. I'm being kind of sarcastic, but yeah.
League with them? I don't.
You signed an agreement with them, and you want to make sure that it doesn't look. Since the gallery gets a percentage, there is a. With some artists who are just starting out, it might be a temptation to say, oh, you can get half price at my store because the gallery takes half of it or whatever percentage they take of it. But you don't want to do that because there are the people that have all the employees and the insurance and the building and the month they show your artwork. And so that's why sometimes I say, I don't know this painting's going to be 4,200 or 4,800 because I want to keep things consistent. And there are legal reasons for that as well as me just being greedy or something.
And Amy says some of the rare pins go for a lot.
Yes.
So that's yet another thing.
That is a
and that's hard. That's hard to determine.
That is very hard to determine because it's something that, well, in a way, all of my pins are kind of. I would never refer to them publicly as being limited edition, except I'm now talking to the public and I'm saying they're limited edition because I don't. After I make them, I like for a special event, I don't make any more of them. So if you have something that was like oh golly, what are the ones people always mention? Like the Fire Ninja Fairy one or the Alligator Girl is a good example. People sometimes sell them for a few $1,000s for a pin. There were 100 of them, but I'm not going to make any more. I'm going to find an
alligator girl under the couch.
Oh, yeah, we might. That's the thing. I never, the most I've ever sold a pin for, I think, is $15.99. But people get them, put them on eBay. I usually just hand them out, but it helps us because people come to the show. A big part of the reason we started doing pins that are exclusives for shows aren't to make me any money because I don't get anything. I usually lose money on pins, but they make it so people show up to the event. And with the internet, sometimes live events are fading sometimes. It's the way, like, if
we try to keep a level of excitement.
Yeah, or try to get people to come out and actually make a personal connection.
DragonCon will be a while before that one would.
Oh, of course. No, and I don't expect it to ever, but it's kind of the thing like going to a movie at a movie theater in person as opposed to downloading it for free on your phone or something.
And that's a sore spot with me.
And I was saying movies because I know Matt would probably talk about that. But yeah, it means that people will come out to the festival instead of just, buying the free stuff online later. I like people to show up. I like to make eye contact with them and say, here's your free thing for coming out and seeing my artwork. Thank you.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Shaylee has a whopper of a question.
Oh,
How many paintings do you think you've completed?
Oh.
Asking for a friend.
Okay.
Herself.
Yeah. It's good to be friends with yourself. It beats the alternative. Let me think. As far as ones I've actually
ever and ever.
I don't know about ever and ever. I really couldn't say that because I've been painting since I was
the little book you made me. Is that every page of painting?
A lot of those are drawings, but
I like how you say drawing.
Yeah, you make fun of me about it all the time. What is it? Draw wings. I draw wings because I paint fairies.
No,
draw wings.
That's actually a pretty good joke.
Draw wings. No.
Drawings.
Don't make fun of me. Anyway,
my name is Simon, and I like to do drawings.
Yeah. I come from everywhere, so I have a lot of weird affectations. Okay, but as far
Jasmine,
yeah,
did we do fans?
Hold on. Can I answer my question first, and then I'll talk about doing fans after that and figure out what the heck you're talking about. I'm as far as paintings go. Paintings I have kept record of, like for provenance, and like kept a paperwork for, like filed a copyright form and all that. It's a little over 5,000 last time I checked. I have done more paintings since then. But that's as far as professionally that I would say, hey, if somebody's ripping me off, I'd say, hey, I painted that one. Here's 1997. I could show people, hey, I did it here. Here's the paperwork. Here's the tracking number. Here's the copyright. Here's the patent, all that. I would say around 5,000. But I've done more than that because, like Matt was mentioning things I've never even thought of. And I'm like, yeah, there are more than that. But fans for DragonCon, are they asking, or are they talking about? And they're talking about these bamboo fans that I have, like silk screen sort of fans.
Either it's Tammy, so either Ren Fair or DragonCon.
Yes, we have ordered some brand new ones for the Ren Fair that have. I'm trying to remember the designs we did do. We did Alan and Autumn, which is the design for the Kansas City Renaissance Festival enamel pin, the special one.
Nice.
Which is on my website. So for whoever was asking about, do we have the concept art for the for the Kansas City Renaissance Festival pin? It's based off my painting Alan and Autumn, which is my little owl character in the autumn, because the Ren Fair has a whole bunch of owls, and it's in the autumn.
It does. Guys, if you go to the Ren Fair, you need to go see the...
wild owls and the bird sanctuary folks that are there. The bird sanctuary people are super nice, and they've got super cute little baby owls, and you think they're babies, and you find out they're like 19 years old, and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know owls.
I asked if I could kiss one, and the lady told me no.
Well, they probably have to. They don't want to get in like owl flu or something they'd warn you about at the airport. It's like bird flu, but more owly.
Oh, Blob Help says you are a true example of the 10,000 hour rule.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, sadly, my 10,000 hours is stretching canvas.
Stretching canvas, Maddie. Yeah.
I see people watch me stretch canvas, and they look at me like I'm a freak.
You should have your own channel about that.
It
is pretty amazing. You know, actually,
after that, it's just repetitive.
Instagram stories. You should.
It's like watching a guy make a pizza. It's not a big deal.
It's a lot like making pizza, actually. But anyways, I have ordered the bamboo fans, and what is the other one? I've had 2 of them. I can't remember what the other one is. I did 2, and they're being shipped from the factory.
Is it on your event page?
No, I haven't told anybody. Reason being, I should continue talking. I had to actually make the artwork for them before we were going to DragonCon, but after we got back from our 7-week sojourn last week. So I don't know if they'll be there for the first weekend of the Renaissance Fair.
Okay, so they're due to be
They are due to be at the Renaissance Fair, but not at DragonCon. We won't have any bamboo fans at DragonCon. There just was not enough time in between when we came back from California and when we have to leave for Atlanta. Either that or I'd be working on that instead of painting a new painting, and I would rather paint a new painting than design, like, merchandise. No offense, merchandise, but I'd rather paint.
So, y'all is the word of the day in the room.
Y'all, yeah.
Hey, what was the,
But if you look, baby, in the, I was going to say, if you want to find out what the other one is, if you look in, there's a folder, it's called art, and then it's called,
What's art?
You know, that stuff I do. Then you look at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival.
Okay, I will try to
or it might be under bamboo fans.
I'll try to figure it out.
Okay. Anyway, so they might not be there for the first weekend, but we will have fans at the Ren Fair. And there are 2 new designs, one of which is Alan in the Autumn, and I forget what the other one is.
Okay, I think I found it.
Which one is it?
Let me look here.
Is it, Wait, it's La Belle Dame Sans Merci. Yes, yeah. I suddenly remembered it because I did kind of a close-up of her. And
I want one of those.
I had to make a special version of her.
I have to fight someone for that?
La Belle Dame Sans Merci, yes.
You know, no one saves me anything of your stuff.
What's that?
No one ever saves me
anything. I don't have any of those. I don't think I own a single one of my
Okay, so that Nintendo guy says, will you have reusable drags?
Drags at DragonCon, yeah. Yes, hopefully with a check mark. No, possibly with a upside down smiley face. That's what I call frowny faces. I think we will, because again, we're getting them shipped from our other studio to here, and they have not come yet. So it depends on, Oh, I don't know if this is too much information, but we have talked to the Hyatt in Atlanta, and theoretically, the bags that were supposed to be shipped here to Florida are going to be shipped to our hotel room in Atlanta, which I've never had done before, and I don't know if they're going to be there. If they are,
hopefully they'll be there Wednesday or Thursday. Because
they might not be there the first day. Because we have to leave, Matt has to leave at least driving everything up a day earlier because the America's Mart building has us load in the day before we usually set up at the art show. And we didn't anticipate that originally. And we don't know, but if things go well, we should have the bags. The thing is, they're going to be the same design as the ones that we had at MegaCon here in Orlando, right, Maddie? They'd be the same artwork on them.
Yep.
Which was Princess of Bones and Alligator Girl, I think.
I don't know.
I think you don't even know. You don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no, not BaconCon, unless it's veggie bacon.
Oh.
We're talking about funny cons now.
I know there's in Kentucky, there's Con on the Cob. I always liked that one. I've not been to the convention. I just like the name, and I've had some fun.
So I made a joke. People are saying now they're talking about BagginCon. And I said, don't bother going, everyone. It should be a drag.
Oh, wow. Well, you know what's funny is there's DragonCon in Los Angeles, which people have misconstrued that I was going to be there because sometimes Instagram will like correct it, and that sounds
like a fun night.
That's like DragCon is. It's like, you know, drag queens. Like RuPaul was there and stuff like that, and it's actually DragCon.
Is it family friendly, or are there portions of it that are family friendly?
I don't know.
Because more and more things like that are.
Definitely.
Because people have a different idea about that.
It probably depends on what panels you go to. Just like DragonCon, actually. Most of DragonCon
or MegaCon.
Most of DragonCon is family friendly, but not everything.
So, Girl in the Mitten said it was Alligator Girl and Princess of Bones.
Yeah, that should be the ones. And
see,
I think
why are you even asking us questions?
Yeah, why don't you ask people in the room? No, that's yeah. So hopefully, assuming that we can get deliveries at our hotel room in Atlanta, then we will have the bags. If not, we'll use them for the next show, or I'll give them away as prizes or.
Okay, you guys don't know it, but those when you see me wrestling with those boxes are huge, and they are heavy.
They are heavy.
I cannot.
Hey, I have to carry them too, and I am not a big person.
You should not ever do that again.
Carrying them.
Can Jasmine talk about any new Disney paintings? Hey, Jasmine, why don't you shut up about DragonCon for a second and get on those Disney paintings?
I can't talk about new specific Disney paintings yet because paperwork is in progress, so I can't. When Disney has paperwork, they are very serious about their paperwork, and I can't talk about it until things are signed and things are filed. But I think my next group of Disney paintings, it will be 2 or 3 new paintings that will be coming out for the Epcot International Festival of the Arts. Hopefully I'm not ruining anybody's paperwork by saying that. I live here in Florida. I will be at Epcot International Festival of the Arts probably usually between 8 to 12 times during the January and February months here in Florida, and that is when they like to debut new artwork from their artists. So we just had Madame Leota come out, obviously. Golly, that wasn't last weekend, that was the weekend
Jasmine,
before
can I
last.
ask you a question?
Yeah, sure, why not?
If
just keep talking.
And then Leela wants to know what the pin for Glastonbury will be. But first, if you were, because you kind of said, hey, I only got time to do D23 or the Madame Leota thing. If you were to have painted one for D23, what would it have been? Is that an okay?
I wouldn't know, because usually with Disney, I give them a list of things I would like, and then they come back to me with my contract, and that says which one they would like. It isn't always up to me, because they might have something like D23, or like for the Haunted Mansion event, they might have 25 different artists doing things, and they don't want all 25 artists to paint. All of them are going to be Lilo and Stitch. They want there to be an assortment of characters to choose from, and they want to keep it, a lot of different options. So they kind of mix things up between people, and then I get my contract to say, I get to paint Cinderella with the slipper, but not the pumpkin in the back. It comes like that. So that is too much of a hypothetical for me, because I knew about a year in advance, I think, that I was going to be painting Madame Leota. Sometimes it's up to 2 or even 3 years from when I do a painting and when it comes out from Disney. which sounds like a lot, but Disney's got a lot of stuff going on.
Canvas sold out.
They have not sold out. They might have sold out at the specific gallery, but the whole edition of 195 is not sold out. I have not signed all of them, for example, and I know there are 195 of them. So I think I've signed 90 of them, maybe. They mail them to me here in Florida from California, and then we overnight them back after they overnight them to us, and they overnight them to us again, and then they send them back to Florida or back to California. They just are probably out in the store at that time, so keep trying, don't worry. But yeah, I don't know who my next one would be. I know one of the ones I'm gunning for, at Epcot, is my... You know how I paint, dragonlings, cute girls with dragons and dragon fairy wings. That is one of the things
Jasmine.
I kind of do in my wheelhouse. Yeah, can I finish my sentence?
I'm sorry.
No? That's okay.
No, that's right.
It's one that I'm, for Epcot, one of my submissions that I put in, I don't know if it's proved yet, was one that was Figment-based. Epcot people will know Figment. And he's a cute little dragon. I'm there working at Epcot doing my art stuff. I think that would be a really good one. So cross your fingers, that could potentially be an Epcot one, but I won't know until I get my contract in the actual mail, check my mailbox while I'm here in Florida. Yeah, what were you going to say, babe?
If you were to do a Lady and the Tramp painting, what do you imagine it would look like?
I don't know. Usually with Disney, they like to have me paint a female figurative work because people know Jasmine characters from being female characters, usually are boys, and that have big eyes and cute hair and whatever. So with two animals, I would say if you're going to look at something of my artwork to compare it to, I'd say look at my dragon statues I've done with Hamilton to get an idea of what my version of animals are. Often I paint animals realistically because I'm doing portraits of specific animals or I'm trying to make a realistic painting. But if it's something that the two primary figures were both non-humanoid, non-female figurative work, they would probably have super big eyes and very realistic backgrounds, and that's kind of one of the things I like doing. I was very happy to see for the new live-action Lady and the Tramp that all the animals in it, I guess, are rescue animals that they got from the local Humane Society, which I think is awesome. A lot of people don't pay attention to the fact that you can go to your local animal shelter and get animals that are apparently good enough to be acting in Disney movies. Yeah.
Tammy has a good idea.
Oh,
you could have one of your cute girls serve the Paschetti.
I agree. She'd make a great waiter. She could, kind of an Olive Garden quality working restaurant. Sorry, I used to be a waiter.
This is a night.
It's a little bit high, and whenever it has things that aren't Disney, I have to get special permission to co-brand something, which usually means another year or two of paperwork. Which is why I'm waiting on Figment. We'll
Lady
see.
and the Tramp's good.
But that's
a good movie. It's better than, in my opinion, it's better than Aristocats.
I would agree. Yeah, I'd agree on that.
And Oliver and Company.
Yeah, I'd agree on that one too. Nothing against either of those. They're just, Lady and the Tramp is much more of a Disney classic that people would buy the DVD for and stuff.
You know what movie I haven't seen?
I like the Dickensian elements of Oliver.
You know what movie I haven't seen for a while that I wouldn't mind watching again? Is Pete's Dragon, the original.
Oh.
With Helen Reddy.
Helen Reddy?
Oh, yeah.
You know all the songs, don't you,
It's
Maddie?
a razzle-dazzle day, a lifetime of fun in just a few hours.
No, that's not a good example of the music from it, really. I always say they kind of phone that in
there's a sweet song, though. I love you too.
Yes, that's a good point. It's
that's
probably
a sweet
because
song.
that's probably part of the reason I paint a lot of girls that are friends with dragons. But I'll show you guys better what I've been working on here because I haven't been talking a lot about my paintings. I've been talking about other random stuff that's happening. But here, if you can see, I've been kind of drawing the numbers onto the dice. These are going to be a lot more highly shaded and saturated when I am further along in the painting. But if you look at my photo I took of my dice, again, I kind of just posed the dice up randomly and not randomly, but I made sure none of the 2 colors were touching, because if you do that, it makes it look less random and more intentional, like it's Tetris or something, or Candy Crush. And then I took a directed photo with a light on it, so you could see if you look at that blue dice in the front, it's got a blue shadow. If you look at the yellow dice, it's got a yellow shadow. Yeah, I'm going to keep them transparent, because the other ones, I'll show you. Some of you might not know the other paintings I've done in the series. I'll show that also, because I printed these. These are not on good paper. This is on my junky plain paper that I print out like airplane reservations on. But the other ones I've done in the series, and I think all of these have been done for DragonCon, have been opaque dice, which are easy for me to make up, or I could just look at the dice and not need a photo reference. And again, I don't want to trace them over. If you do that, it's going to look like a jumble of lines that doesn't make any sense. And I've seen people do that. It does not look good. I like looking at it and then painting at it when I look at it to make sure that it looks like a bowl of fruit or something, almost treating it like a still life. But yeah, the other ones I've done for DragonCon have been opaque dice, which are just kind of polyhedron sort of geometrical math problems as far as which one's brighter, which one's darker, which one's lighter. There's a D12. But I always have a girl with a little dragon, some sort of fairies. And
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Shadow Dancer says that she wishes they would ban pet breeding. Because
I can see the instinctive in that. There are too many animals that go unwanted. That's very true. All of our pets have always been rescued.
The only thing cool about pet breeds are the hilarity.
He does not speak for me.
No, they are. I said the only. I mean,
this is Matt's opinion. It's not the opinion of what.
I just think that they've created some amazing, funny.
Oh yeah,
bizarre dogs.
That's very true.
It's very experimental.
What
about the?
It's very kind of
September pin.
Oh, September. Oh, you know what? I meant to print that off. The painting it's based off of is Halloween Night. If anybody knows that painting, it's an older painting on. Yeah, Matt, link to it, because I've got prints of that one too. We should do a canvas cutie of it too on the website. But it's a very cute painting of a little witchy girl sitting next to a pumpkin, like a jack-o'-lantern, proper pumpkin that's lit up.
I love it. It's cute.
It's super cute. It's very iconic. And I've gone ahead, and it's going to take me a little bit longer, but I'm doing the glow in the dark on the light up pumpkin. So those of you who had the one I did, I think for last October last year, I could, unless I'm off by a year, I very well might be. That was Jack-o'-lantern fairy, I think. Was that October last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that glow in the dark.
So the way that kind of glows in the dark, I'm using a similar glow in the dark element into this one, and it's the jack-o'-lantern. But it's more of a smiley jack-o'-lantern. It's more of a cutesy sort of one. And she's got a little pointy hat, and it should be adorable. And that will be our September pin of the month. And the reason I'm doing it September this year instead of like last year, how I did October was the Halloween one, is so people can actually get it in time to wear it to work or to school or around your town or with your family or just for yourself. And it's Halloween themed ahead of time instead of getting it like the day after Halloween, which is kind of a bummer. So we're doing it ahead of time.
Oh my gosh, Jasmine.
What's that?
Blob Help says, I'm reminded of The Worst Witch with Firuza Balk.
Oh, I love
I
that
sing
movie.
The whole song that Tim Curry sings.
Yes,
I acted out and everything.
He will act all of it out.
I really need to redo it. I need to completely act it out.
Well, remember,
I don't have Tim Curry's voice, but I can.
Nobody does. And
I can do something with it.
But yes, The Worst Witch is fantastic. I have not seen, although we saw the advert for it when we were in London, there is a live action one in the West End of London that is.
It is specifically based off the books.
That's based off of the books. A lot of people don't realize those were books before it was a movie. And J.K. Rowling freely admits and says she's inspired by The Worst Witch for Harry Potter. So it's like, oh, not another wizard school sort of thing. It's like, no, this is like one of the first wizard schools. It was pretty cool.
I wanted to see it, but why? We didn't have enough time. It had already started.
Oh, it had already, when we were there in when we were there in London, I was there with my niece.
There is nothing like
jumping
in and seeing a spontaneous show in London. It's
the best feeling that's ever. A good feeling. But yeah, it had started for the evening, and we were going to have dinner.
Mrs. Garrett from Facts of Life is in.
I don't know Facts of Life. It sounds like I'm dumb. I don't know the Facts of Life, but no, I don't know the TV show, but I know she's on that. And she's not in the play though, because I think she passed away.
Yeah. Yeah. Did Jasmine say Tim Curry is dead?
Didn't he pass away?
Tim Curry.
Yeah, didn't he? I'm sorry, did he not?
Are you thinking of...
I don't think he's dead. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. No, I don't think so.
You're thinking of Alan Rickman.
I am probably thinking of Alan Rickman. I'm sorry. I don't mean to confuse the two. I'm fans of both of them.
They have a similar beautiful voice.
They both have voiced over for Ruth Rendell.
He did have a stroke,
audiobooks.
though.
He did have a stroke, but no, last I heard Tim Curry was... Sorry, I don't mean to alarm people. Don't, yeah. But no,
I have a lot of
last I heard he was... I was going to say, actually, he might be at DragonCon. But no, he...
he had a really bad stroke. That's sad.
Yeah, he did. I don't think he's doing any voiceover stuff.
He's born in 1946.
Yeah, he was born the same year that Sid Barrett was.
Madame Curie is dead.
Yeah, she
Not
is.
Tim.
No, yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what's not
he
dead?
Did have a stroke. Yeah.
Indian curry.
Never.
That will never die.
I'm in Los Angeles for some reason. Talking about this to a friend. How come there aren't a lot? If anybody has suggestions, let me know. If there are any places in Southern California that have really good Indian food.
They certainly have a lot of amazing Asian food.
Yeah, and a lot of really good Mexican food. But there might be really good Indian food. I just don't know
Mexican
about.
Food is so good.
I'm looking actively for suggestions of really good Indian food in South California, like Los Angeles and South area. Oh, what's that beeping? Oh, is that the prize? Oh.
It is, and I will...
And this was... Oh, and you know, I never even showed people the other pins, did I? Shoot. Okay. This one's for the baby DragonCon dragon.
Come on, Moobot.
So,
let's see what you got.
And these are the ones we're handing out on Friday and Sunday, or just at your house because you're watching us here. And the next one is... So like in an hour from now... 10-sided dice fairy. That's another dice fairy.
CJ Cross 0906.
Oh, congratulations, CJ Cross. And this will be the next prize, is another DragonCon pin. Even if you're not a pin collector, hold on to these or go trade them up at the pin group because people there will want them and you can trade them for good stuff. And then our last one we'll do today is another pin because I've got 2 of each of the DragonCon pins and I'd rather give them to people who want them. And this is
They're very special pins. They really
Kieran
are.
and Shemasan. Yes, these are ones that we only have. I say 200, but usually I make like 8 extra ones, so I have some, and so I can have them in case some are broken or like the colors are wrong or they get lost or something. So I usually have some extras, and all of them came in pretty much on time and perfect. So.
And also congratulations to the winners last week.
Yes.
Heck, you might even get another.
Yeah, it is random. I think somebody won twice in a row. Well, or am I imagining it?
Yeah, Costler chick won 2 raffles in a row.
In the same evening, or was it?
No.
Oh, okay. 2
not
weekends.
Not the same evening.
Oh, like
yes, you could win the same evening. I still have not won one. But
Matt is technically if he wins, I'm not going to let him win.
That Nintendo guy always teases me about it, but I don't think he's won.
Oh, really?
No, I think that.
Oh, and he's the one who makes the little. I mean, I've got the raffle pins right here. Oh, it'll happen. It's random.
Yeah. Have you won one? Who's won a raffle before?
Am I in the raffle thingy?
You are not.
I am not. Okay.
I could put you.
So like, am I not in the chat room? I know I'm talking all the time.
You are in the chat.
I am in the chat room, but I'm not entered into the contest.
Yes. Do you want me to?
On the record, I never see the. No, don't, honey. That would be
fun.
Weird. I'm not gonna win. No, that would.
It makes me feel weird too.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know I was in the chat room. I've never actually seen the chat room for this group. People can't tell, but I'm like 20 feet from Matt, and I don't actually see the TV or the computer when I'm,
Innsmouth Mermaid wants to know if they leave to go pick up their daughter, are they removed from the raffle?
Nope. And I like your name.
Yes, me too.
Nope. And once you enter, I think you're entered for the whole night, and you might want to check and see if you won.
You won 3 times. I know you're.
Who won?
Remember how Warlock Redbeard?
I remember that. I remember
remember
insinuating they had magical powers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Warlock Redbeard, I think the first time they came into the room, they were there for like 10 minutes and then they won a prize.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, Warlock?
They might.
Mimi still hasn't won, for example.
Okay.
And she is very.
And she's here.
Black Orchid Fairy never won. SB Reynolds never won.
And Matt's never won, and you've been it every time, right, Maddie?
Yeah, there are many people who have won multiple times.
Well, it's like having, not to talk about dice, but if you had like one of these 1D100 dice and you rolled it every time, you might get 99 4 times before you got number 24. It's hard to...
Leela or her family members have won.
That's true. Sometimes I probably think that people won it more because like their husband's here or their kid is here.
Was there and then boom.
Yeah.
But that's the story. Radovich, I'm sitting. Kieran's never won though.
Wow, that is surprising.
Kieran.
Okay.
I guess your family just wins a lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Matt's never won.
Oh, okay. Well,
Matt did.
Nutgator's kid just won, but
who did?
Nutgator's kid just won, but see.
Oh, that's who just won now.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Congratulations. I'm gonna put some yellow.
Husky says, "I'm in a car." LOL.
Oh yeah, Husky, don't ever compromise your driving skills by.
Yeah, because how are you typing? What are you
talking? If you have a good phone, I've heard you can talk at it and it will like.
Cars scare me now.
I hate cars, man.
Actually, I just wanted to do everything, and I can just go in it and be like going in the channel.
I trust that. I like the channel.
Well, Patreon ones are a lot harder to win because Jasmine has like 8 gazillion people on Patreon.
Yeah,
and it's not based on tier.
Yeah.
So
here you've got to actually be here.
Exclamation raffle after somebody wins. Nope, Kalera. If you the raffle, think of it as a whole long. It's for the whole Twitch session.
Yeah.
And if you come in here in the first minute, type in exclamation raffle, then it's there.
And then peace out. You can leave, but don't stay and talk with us. I'm lonely. I'm really lonely.
Shaylee just heard the freakiest scream outside their house. It's like the Wolfman out there.
Ah.
Ooh, the Wolfman was my first obsession.
Ew.
I think werewolves.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, and I still kind of think about them a lot. And it's not like I'm in any specific fandoms. It's just the idea of werewolves. I don't know why it's always been with me.
Werewolves are something that are kind of endemic to almost every culture that's been around in it.
Nigel has to marry me first to be my husband. Ooh.
That's true.
Oh, you British people who don't get married. Is that an American thing?
Hey, yeah, I think British people are kind of beyond that. It's like, oh, he's my partner. I'm like, all right.
You're next gen.
Here you gotta like file paperwork and stuff.
Well, gosh, maybe I should marry Nigel.
Huh?
Maybe I should marry Nigel.
Maybe you should.
He's pretty lucky in these raffles.
Man. Yeah.
Could just start putting our raffles away.
Yeah.
Selling them on the side, making some money.
DragonCon pins make me some money. Yeah.
I'm feeling like I want to go out there, but it happened twice.
Maybe
it's an American werewolf in London.
Yeah, maybe you should call. If it's really something scary, I mean, just to PSA this, but maybe call somebody if it's really something that's scary that's happened, because that does happen sometimes.
I think that Jasmine and I are in the minority, but Shaylee's asking this question also.
What's on?
I love the Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro Wolfman movie.
I liked it. We saw it on Wolfmas. It was great.
Yeah, I saw that was coming out 2 weeks or 2 months ahead of time.
And it was coming out on Valentine's Day, right?
I think so.
Or was it our anniversary? I forget.
Something like that. It was a very special day. Yeah. And it came out and we called it Wolfmas.
Yeah.
So we were getting very excited for Wolfmas.
I enjoyed it. I don't just because a movie's not good doesn't mean I won't like it.
But
and just because a movie is good doesn't mean I will like it.
Right.
So I have different criteria. I like hearing people's suggestions, though, and there are a handful of people that I genuinely appreciate their suggestions. So I always like hearing them.
Technology is getting better day by day, Karen.
Here's hoping.
Oh, Shaylee's gonna marry a Wolfman.
Oh, all right.
Oh, now it's Wolfman. It's not Wolfman.
It's like a last name. We put 2 N's at the end, then it's a last name.
It's Mark Wolfman.
Jasmine Becket-Wolfman.
So Home Decor is like, hey, what up? I missed like the first hour. What are you painting, Jasmine?
Here, I'll give it another run through on here, and then I'm gonna have to get some of this green stuff off my hand. I'm working on a new painting that is theoretically going to be done by next weekend for DragonCon. This is part of my Dice Fairy series. I've been working on painting the dice mostly. They aren't super realistic yet, but I've got my little photo I took of my actual dice that I had stacked up. I put them in a bag because Gamera was like knocking them over, but so I took a picture of them with my phone, printed it out, and that's what I'm looking at right now when I'm painting to see how the colors kind of interact and which numbers go on which side of the dice. And I've got a fairy that's going to have some dragon wings, and she's got a little dragony friend. I don't know if you can tell him yet. I just kind of drew him in with like some gray paint, and he'll be there. And it will be part of, well, loosely, it's not a very specific series, the dice paintings I've done, because as people pointed out, there are different sizes often. There's different types of dice, different dragons. Here are the ones I've done for DragonCon before. They're all the polyhedron sort of dice that are used for gaming, for Dungeons and Dragons, for all sorts of different types of games, really.
Certainly. I've played many
yeah,
other games
there are so many board games and all sorts of stuff that use polyhedric sort of dice.
There are certain terminologies that D&D owns, like D20, the D20 system.
Yeah, so I always am
like that.
This is a 20-sided dice.
Right.
And it's not even D&D owning it. I think last I heard Hasbro owns them, so they've been sold around a lot. So I just, you can use them for all sorts of games. But here's one that's transparent. Somebody was asking earlier if I'd painted any that were transparent, and if you look at this dice here, I think it is the exact same dice that is actually in my photo here, just a different year, but also for DragonCon. It's a D4, which is an interesting die because it is a pyramid. And I don't know how many times people have come up to me and they're like, doesn't a four-sided dice isn't it, if it's a pyramid, how come it doesn't have three sides? I'm like, a pyramid has a base, it is three-dimensional, four-dimensional, it has four sides to it, but yeah. In fact, I'll show it right now because I'm tired of people asking me about it. Sorry, I did, math, but where are you? Oh,
hey, Jasmine, you should give me 3d6 and I'll roll some stats.
Yeah, I certainly got 3d6. I buy dice by the pound because I like them, but yeah, because you're like 1, 2, 3, but the bottom's a side too. That's why it's a D4 instead of a D3, even though it's a pyramid. But anyway, so I have painted a transparent one, and I've got two in this one. I've got a green one. I'm gonna smooth this up a bit. A green one and a yellow one. I'm painting them both in here. And part of the reason I have a photo on here is because I want to have it as having a very directed light source. And you can see kind of a circle around this. I masking taped a flashlight onto the side of my table when I took the picture so I could see what the shadows look like. Because this is a lovely blue kind of 10-sided dice here. But there's a pink one next to it, so when the shadow comes through, it's going to be kind of purple, and that's something I wouldn't necessarily think of unless I had seen what it actually looks like to see the light going through it and how it affects the other lights. So I'm kind of working on that now, but I'm going to have one of my fairies on it, and she's holding a D8 up here. Or is that D10? I think it's a D10, even though she's showing it on number 8. I'll have to check because it's another one I've referenced, but she'll be a lovely fairy with kind of dragon wings, and there'll be a cute little baby dragon, and he's gonna be sitting on an actual D8 there. It's on number 2. There isn't a lot of significance to the numbers that I choose, but sometimes I put little inside jokes in there. But so far, so good. And this will be a painting that will be available at DragonCon this coming weekend, assuming I finish it. We are taking a list of people who are interested in purchasing the original. I believe it is, I don't remember what the price is. I want to say it was like 4,000-ish.
Which one?
This one I'm working on now. I think I said on Instagram, or I copied it onto Instagram. I don't know if it's up there.
I'll look on Instagram.
Yeah, look on Instagram, I would say. Yeah, it depends. It's all based on the size and how long it takes to complete the painting. So it's probably around $4,000. We do have a couple people already in line for the original. No, it's not. And it's actually, I would say, it depends how complicated the painting is. I'm like, I've already spent, I don't even know how long, just painting the dice, and they are not even close to being done yet. And I will not be going to sleep over the next 5 days until I get to DragonCon. So you'll see me when I am super sleepy. But we'll have prints of these up at strangeland.com. We'll have prints. We'll have the masterpiece canvases.
I don't see a price in there. Unless you put it in comments.
Maybe I put it on Patreon. I don't know. I usually like write a paragraph and I just copy paste it everywhere.
The purple dice looks similar to the dark crystal.
Oh, which one?
Ew.
The one I was showing off, or the one here? I don't know, but that's cool. It is kind of a dark crystal in it.
So Jasmine.
Yeah.
Shaylee, like, she knocked over 3 sets of her dice.
Oh no!
Across the floor during D&D, and she's still hurt by the fact that she didn't say roll for damage.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's missing a chance there, Shaylee. I'm disappointed in you.
I really hope Jasmine has her fairy sitting on a fairly rounded die. Some of those look a little pointy and painful to see.
Yeah, you know what I did actually is when I took the picture, I kind of I didn't really know. Like I said, if you look in the background, originally I was going to have one of my own little statues model for it. I'm like, you know what? I want the dice to be bigger compared to the character, so I just made up a character to go on it. But what I did is I kind of gave a round one for maybe where her legs will go and like a square one for like her bum to go. And then I put the little green one out here because I wanted the dragon to maybe sit on it. If you look there, there's like crumpled up bubble wrap behind it, but ignore that. So I kind of, when I set this up as if one would do a still life, I put some thought into how she's going to be set. Yeah, nobody wants to sit on like a D4 unless they want to, and that's fine. But not in my painting. I don't want anybody sitting right on a D4 at the top. But I'm going to get some of this green off my fingers because I'm going to start working on some of the flesh tones, and I need to blur that around. And I don't want her to be green because that's not her specific character. So I do have a lot of green girl paintings. I will be right back.
I remember the first thing that I bought because I thought it was absolutely necessary to play Dungeons and Dragons with was dice. So I went to a store. I didn't have much money, and I bought some dice, and I walked around with them for weeks. And I didn't have, anyone to play Dungeons and Dragons with, but I kept these dice like they were some sort of treasure. So I love the dice too. They're just so neat to look at, and people have so much fun designing them. And I just think they're really cool. I just like looking at them. I saw recently, I can't remember how big it was, but it was bigger than a D100. And it was just insane. I saw it at, I believe, Planet Comic-Con. So they make them bigger than that, apparently. I don't know what the biggest die is right now. So other games that I've played that are role-playing games, I've played GURPS. I don't know if you guys know what GURPS is, but GURPS is cool, and I believe the whole system is only 6-sided dice. Like everything's done with 6-sided dice. And that is a fun game. It stands for Generic Universal Role-Playing System. And basically everything was there. You had the sci-fi, you had superheroes, you had all these other various genres, and you just mixed them together. So that was a lot of fun. I also played a game called Riffs, and I think that was really, really probably the best time I had playing role-playing games was Riffs, and that also had an element of science fiction with magic. It's post-apocalyptic, and apparently after everybody's wiped out on the planet, all the magic that was stuck inside the beings that lived on the planet kind of released, and strange things happened, like Atlantis resurfaced, and chasms opened, and the demons that were already there awoke from that mass death. So it was kind of a neat storyline. But also, since it's a bit in the future, they had a lot of tech, so they have like these mech sort of things. What's that? Oh, I'll get that in a second. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't understand. I thought you wanted them for later. I'll get that real quick. Alrighty. We are back. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of any other ones I played. And I'm talking about different games that I played using dice. Rifts. And that was from the Palladium world, which was a larger universe too.
I got that.
Probably. I don't know. Monopoly. Well, yeah, Monopoly does use the old D6. Now, if you play it with D20s, it does change the dynamic quite a bit. So, yes, and you can make characters. I suppose you could give your shoe hit points, intelligence, whatnot. It does sound like something our nephew would do. So our nephew likes to attempt to make games more interesting by adding strange rules, which sometimes works. Croquet with my nephew is that's a different experience. Actually, some of you might meet him while you're at DragonCon. He'll be helping out, and he let's see, he's he's already started school, so this will be his break. Yeah. But yeah, I think his first DragonCon was last year. I don't remember now. Let's play I1. Reminds me of the kid in the Connect 4 commercial. I win. It's not I won, it's I win. Very present tense. It is like that. I can't wait for it to cool down. October needs to get here soon. October is still kind of warmish here.
Yeah. It's always kind of.
Yeah, we get some chillier nights. In January, February.
January is pretty cold.
Yeah, it can be. It can get to freezing.
Ooh. Okay.
I was wondering, do you have any of those tofurkeys left?
Yeah.
Those are so good.
They're good.
We were talking about turkey earlier in the room. I mentioned turkey and someone said tofurkey.
Tofurkey deli slices.
Yeah, I might. Oh, they're so good.
Sunshine likes them.
The D120 is the biggest size. That's what it was, probably. It was a D120, and I'm like, what do you use this for? And I'm thinking...
A D120?
120.
Wow.
120. We saw it at Planet Comic-Con.
I've seen D100s before.
No, we saw a D120, and I thought it would be fun to roll for stats on that.
Yeah. It's depressing if you roll for your intelligence and you get like a 3, and you're like, oh, out of 120, that's not great.
But you're as strong as, I don't know, Thor times 5.
Yeah, that'd be pretty impressive.
January will be hot this year in Florida.
Oh, probably.
Says Kelly. Well, you're from the UK. You guys always think it's
I was going to say, I have been in the UK in August, and it never got over 60 degrees.
I know, we're all wearing jackets and everything.
It's like jackets I have not even worn in February in Florida. I was wearing in August in the UK, which is fine because your places are built for that. It's not like being in Florida when it's cold. But people are like, oh, it's so cold.
It got super hot there this year, though.
What's that?
UK.
What about it?
It got super hot there this year.
Yeah. I think we were talking about that last time. Then in Paris, how it was like 108 degrees. That was crazy. And you suddenly notice all the stores and stuff that don't have, and restaurants that don't have air conditioning. Because if you only need it once every 3 years, why get it? But they might need it more and more. You never know. But
And Garrica says you can only do so much in this heat. I do what I
do.
normally do, I think. Actually, when it gets cold, I have a tendency to stay inside.
Yeah, that's true.
I have lots of summer clothes for January. Well, you never know what happens, Kelly. Honestly, it could get to freezing.
Yeah, it does. We don't get a freeze every year in Florida. And by freeze, we mean overnight it gets lower than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. But when it does, a lot of things get affected in Florida because a lot of our subtropical plants, like our bananas and other herb-based sort of plants that are definitely subtropical, will just kind of curl up and die. So I can tell by looking at my backyard if we got a hard freeze that year or not. It's like, oh, it must not have gotten 32 because our banana plants didn't fall over.
One of the best things about, and I'll have to explain what I'm going to say. The best thing about it getting chilly is the lizards go away.
The lizards, I love the lizards.
Now, explain why is that good?
Yeah, I
reduces the stress.
Lizards. I am a herpetologist. I love lizards so much. I spend a lot of my life documenting and studying lizards, but here in Celebration, Florida, and specifically our area of it, is a microclimate that has an overabundance of lizards. And it's very difficult to explain to people without them thinking it's a joke or something. You say that I can look at the 20 feet of sidewalk in my back courtyard and say there were over 240 lizards there. Just try to think if you're actually counting per square feet. Like if you're to look at an area this big and maybe see 5 lizards on it, and try to walk and do anything without stepping on them because they're adorable and I love them. And they are everywhere. I stopped riding my bicycle because all the lizards. I don't think I could over-exaggerate how many. And I'm not. I'm a person who exaggerates a lot. And I am not exaggerating, am I, Mandy?
You are not.
I am not. It is difficult to walk without stepping on lizards because we have so many of them here. It's kind of crazy. So when it is less hot out, the lizards will go hide under leaves or go up in the trees. They just really like sidewalks because, you know, if you have a pet lizard, they love having a big old flat rock that is heated. And that is basically what our town is.
In the backyard.
Yeah, and we have a lot of ants, and oh my gosh, that vinegarone that came in.
That's weird still.
I don't know if people even know what vinegarones are, but they are... oh golly, they're like a giant whip scorpion, if anybody knows what those are. They almost look like a lobster. They are huge, and I was here painting, not this painting, but the Ninja Dragonlings one, the day before, because it was super raining out, and all the bugs want to come in our house, apparently, when it's raining. And I thought Sunshine, my cat, was by my foot, and I thought, she gets there and her whiskers will tickle my foot, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my foot. And I looked down and there's a vinegarone on it, which is like a scorpion that squirts acetic acid, which is technically vinegar, but it comes from a bug. It's very strange. Anyways, he was right on my foot with his little pinchers going king, king, king. And I grabbed him in paper towel and I threw him outside. He was fine, I think. But it was one of those things that if you're not used to living in Florida, it might terrify a person about it.
Yeah, but I've only seen him a couple times.
I've only seen him maybe 3 times since I've lived here in 16 years. And he was inside our house because it was raining so much outside when he came in.
They're not very dangerous.
No, they're not dangerous to like grown-up humans, but they're an unsettling thing to see on your foot. It's the little lobster pinchers in the front that you just... If you're thinking it's going to be your cat and you see that, it's unsettling. I'm not afraid of any sort of thing like that. I'm not afraid of regular scorpions. I've seen all sorts of scorpions, but they're unsettling looking creatures.
You ever let crawdaddies pinch you for fun?
Sure, yeah. We used to put them on our ears like they're earrings.
The smell, Blob Help says. The smell.
Crawdaddies or vinegarones?
Probably vinegarones.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why they're called that. Acetic acid is technically
awesome smelling either.
Well, I was going to say vinegarones. I know that they're supposed to smell like vinegar, but if they don't squirt at you, then it's not real obvious. I just didn't.
I just keep it around for salad.
I was more worried about my cats hurting it because I haven't seen very many of them here, and it was weird because I'd just been reading about scorpions, and I don't know.
That's never a good thing to read about.
I love reading about scorpions.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the German band from the 80s.
Oh, I don't think I will ever talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Got Scorpios. Oh, a couple Scorpios. I'll talk about them.
75 up north doesn't feel the same as 75 in Florida. What's the difference?
Well, some people in Florida will like bust out their scarves and mittens if it's 75 degrees out.
That Nintendo guy says rock you like a hurricane.
Oh. We said we were not going to talk about scorpions.
Oh, yeah.
I remember I used to get culture puncta in my German class because they were apparently a German band.
They didn't sound very German.
Yeah,
they just sounded normal.
If you're gonna try to do a 80s heavy metal sort of thing, you want to sing in English, I guess.
I would put them in the heavy metal category, probably hard rock.
I don't know what sort of.
And then they have that one.
I don't know enough about them really. It's not really.
Wings of Change, and that I don't even know what that is.
I don't know.
It was very popular in my senior year of high school.
No judgment. I just don't.
Winds of Change.
My sort of music.
There's no one like you. Yeah. There's no one like you.
No, I actually don't know if I know the Scorpions very
That's
well.
okay.
Am I missing out on much?
No.
I didn't think so.
I would only know their hits.
Gosh, I think it's starting to rain again now, Maddie.
Outside?
That clicking noise, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to rain a lot this week here.
Yeah, it's always supposed to rain. People forget that in Florida it rains almost every day despite being the sunshine state. But what I've done, I've taken some Vat Orange, some Hansa Yellow Medium, and a bit of white, just titanium white in some water. And I'm using that to kind of color in her flesh tones. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do for the background yet, so I just want to make her look like she's a human and not just like a marble statue. A lot of what the interesting part of this painting will probably be will be from the bottom up, which is kind of an unusual way to platform a painting, but since there are all these very bright colored dyes that are down at the bottom, they're going to be casting reflections the way almost a stained glass window would do, and that's going to be having some interesting uplights and such. And I have not decided yet on the character herself what the D8 that she's holding up by her cheek is going to be. And I don't know what color her little pet dragon's going to be, and I don't know what color her outfit's going to be, or her hair, or her eyes. Those are often things that people ask me about because they think those are the defining features of a painting, but I think more about the environment of the painting, and then I see what makes sense based on the environment of the painting. So, like, seeing all these colored dice down at the bottom, I'm like, if I think, oh, there's a lot of really bright colors, I'm going to make her hair a more neutral tone. Or, oh, there's too many red tones down here, maybe I'll put some cool/green tones up here. So those are things that I'm going to be deciding while you guys are watching along with me. I might do is start working on her eyes a bit more, because no matter what her eye color is, there's going to be the same level of definition and sort of the shape and the eyelashes and the eyelids and a little bit of the warm neutrals towards the center of it, like her tear ducts and the inside of her duct lining and that sort of thing. So I'm going to take some of that same color I've been using to highlight her cheeks, and I'm going to go around the bottom side of her eyes, and it might look like she's like, oh, she's got orange eyeliner, but she doesn't. That's just going to be like, that's what I look like if I take a picture of my eyes and I don't have makeup on them. I'm just going to put some yellowy, orangey red down here. I may or may not give her lipstick, but I know...
She is looking cute.
Yeah. Even if she has lipstick on, I know she's going to start out like most human beings and is going to have more transparent skin on her lips than she has on the rest of her face, so it's going to be a higher pigment load. No matter what color your skin is, you're going to have more transparent skin on your lips, so that's going to be a more saturated area for color, no matter what color you end up putting on there. I'm going to put that on there just as kind of a reminder to myself. Also, like on her nostrils here. I'm going to make her a little bit smiley.
Jasmine.
Look kind of grumpy. She's actually kind of smiling, but she's kind of grumpy.
Ricky saw Rammstein in Paris in July.
Oh, really? I have seen them before in Kansas City. My dad got us into the show, which is a weird thing to say, especially if you knew me and you knew my dad. That's a very weird thing to say, and that was a heck of a show that they put on. Did they set anybody on fire on it?
Probably.
Did they play Pet Cemetery, the song?
Did they play the Pet Cemetery song, Ricky?
Well, I mean, they just had the movie come, the redo of the Stephen King movie. I wonder if they would do, because they did the Pet Cemetery. My dad used to have a Great Dane that was named Rammstein. He was a tie-dyed puppy, and then he got huge.
One song which was the recipe for egg salad.
That sounds like something they might do.
They set a doll on fire. Maybe that guy's fire days are over.
It might have to do with where they're at and what sort of fire marshal they have locally. I don't know. But yeah, we saw them at the Uptown Theater in Kansas City. That was a really cool show, wasn't it?
Got in for free.
Got in for free. My dad painted the theater.
I felt the heat from that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean when I don't know if they would let them do that in every sort of venue, because it didn't feel illegal that we were there, but it felt like something that people might complain about later if somebody had died.
So Ramones did the original Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but Rammstein did a cover of it. It was very popular in Europe.
I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery.
Well, if you remember, actually, the band that was opening for them was playing that during the encore. Yeah. Bet Larry Elmore knows Godhead. No, I bet he doesn't. Sorry. No stories told.
Oh, okay. They have a new show, huge stage, coming to my town, Lyon, next year.
Oh, Lyon. Lyon is lovely. That would be a good place to actually do a show like that. There's enough people that it would be probably well populated, but not so big that it would garner too much attention.
Buddy's here.
Oh, hey, Buddy.
And Seattle Steve's here.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Lots of people are here.
Yay. Oh, really? I never know
Let's
who's here.
see how many people are in here. 76 people.
Oh, that's quite a few people. Thanks,
yeah,
guys.
It's summer, or the end of summer.
That seems like a lot of people.
It seems, yeah, I go around on the internet when I have 2 seconds, and it seems not as busy generally.
I thought that was pretty busy. I don't know.
No. What I'm saying is, yeah.
The internet in general. Oh no,
yeah.
People aren't on the internet.
So I'm excited that many people are here.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm gonna try to draw the outline of if she was wearing eye makeup. It's gonna show up here.
Back to school season. Not for me.
Makes my stomach hurt when I hear that. I hate school. No offense, all friends and.
Buddy says hello, M and J. I think he's talking to Michael and Jackson.
Oh no. Buddy.
It was Gabriel's first Rammstein gig. Is that like a thing? It's like you have to do at least 5 throughout your life.
Yeah, it's a rite of
Kiss
passage.
in Manchester.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you take him to fun concerts, don't you?
And next week is Guar.
Really?
No, I'm making it up.
I was gonna say that's kind of the progression that one would do.
Eventually, it all ends at Guar.
Oh well, I don't really know Guar. No, they put on a big performance sort of thing. I've never been to Kiss either.
So Ricky likes Guar.
Yeah, I know they have really elaborate costumes. And
they
things.
do.
Yeah.
They do. Much like some of the people at DragonCon.
Yeah.
Who knows what the Guar people really look like?
Yeah, they could be different people every time. Maybe people know better than I do and I'm sounding silly, but they kind of could be.
Soul Chamber, I don't know them. I've heard of them, but I don't know.
Soul Chamber, weren't they popular when I was like a high school student? Like dating you, like in the 90s? Soul Chamber? Or is that something else?
Probably
thinking of.
It sounds, yeah, but wasn't that like an alternative sort of?
Yeah, that's kind of what was popular in the late 90s. I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Soul Chamber.
Probably thinking of. I don't know. I'm gonna draw underneath some of these.
Oh yeah,
guys
Coal
here.
Chamber they look freaky.
Oh,
like
okay.
Marilyn Manson or something.
Oh, okay. Is it like Insane clown posse things?
No, it doesn't look as weird.
That's one of the most common things that people ask me for, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't know enough about it.
Alt metal.
Okay. Go alt metal.
Mid 90s. Okay,
I think I think they would sometimes have them like on 120 minutes when I was in high school.
Really talented bassist.
You know, that's what you can say about a lot of bands that have kind of hung around for a while. The bassist is good, and that is a thing that is consistent over time.
Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Flea?
Yeah, Flea. Yeah, definitely. Flea's fantastic. He's good.
And he's going to be in a movie. What movie is he?
I forget. We looked it up because I was talking about how he's also an actor, and
he's going to be in a movie soon. We saw a preview for it. It was
we did. Did we see it before? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what it is.
I don't know, man.
What you gonna be in, Flea?
I've got a couple of family members who are bassists for things, and I know how important that is for the whole band and for how recognizable a sound is. Like saying, I'm really into painting backgrounds. It is kind of that important.
Boy Erased? No?
Maybe.
Toy Story 4.
Oh,
but
well, that was already... That could have been why we heard about it, because it was a Disney thing. Yeah.
We know he was in Baby Driver, but I thought he was in something else. Maybe a TV show or something. I don't remember.
I thought it was in a TV show.
But we saw it.
I don't know. I want to tell tales out of school.
I'm not one to tell tales out of school.
I am not, man.
Please extend a thank you to Jasmine for signing my early JBG Alice figurine at the Haunted Mansion event.
Oh, is that Buddy?
Yes.
Yes, you're welcome, Buddy, and thank you for bringing me the Alice 2C, because I have not seen her for like 15 years, and that was so cool to see. And that was actually a very good representation, considering the lot that she came from. That was a very well done one.
So Husky's first concert was Richard Marx. My first concert was Karl Marx. There wasn't much singing, but he had some good arguments. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say he's got a lot of the people on his side. Yeah.
But yeah, I know Richard Marx. My older sister was obsessed with him.
Oh, I don't think I know him.
He had,
what songs
he had
does
amazing
he do?
hair.
Oh.
Oceans apart, day after day, and the something blah, 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 blah.
What sort of music is that?
Soft wuss rock.
Wuss rock? Is that the official term? Is wuss rock?
Yeah.
Okay. No offense, wuss rockers. That's definitely a genre. First
concert was Warrant.
Oh, I'm sorry. No offense, Warrant. I gotta be careful, man. A lot of these.
The lead singer died in like 2004 for Warrant.
Sometimes. What's that, babe?
The lead singer died in 2004.
Of Warrant or
Warrant?
Oh, okay.
And the only song I remember by them was wait, no, they had two, like She's My Cherry Pie and something else.
Oh, yeah.
Rick Springfield and Corey Hart. Oh, Corey Hart. I wear my sunglasses.
Golly.
Motley Crue. I bet that was a lot of people's first ones, Christy.
Depends how old you are. Yeah.
Rick Springfield. Jussie's girl.
I was thinking isn't Rick Springfield
Warner and Styx
an actor now, or am I thinking of somebody else?
Rick Springfield has been an actor for a long time. He
That's
was in General Hospital.
I think I only know him for like being an actor. I don't know that I know his music. Yeah.
Your first concert was Lilith Fair. Oh, that probably had a bunch of acts.
Wow, what a good first concert. That is awesome. Yeah, that would have been a lot of good people there.
I'm trying to think of my first real concert, because I mean, you go to a lot of little things. I think I was older. I think it was probably Lollapalooza.
Wow. Well, how old would you have been then, love? Your first concert ever?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I'm
trying to think of what would be considered a concert before then. It's not something I really did.
I used to go to like free concerts of like cover bands and Liverpool and stuff like that when I was a
New
kid.
Kids on the Block. That's great, Ricky.
Hey, I unexpectedly saw I saw the Backstreet Boys in Hamburg.
Bad Company.
Like in the mid-90s, because I happened to be in Germany and I was an exchange student there, and they had a ticket for me, and I was like, oh no, we had this a long time ago. It was called New Kids on the Block. This is the Backstreet Boys, and then it was a new thing, and it was before they got popular in America, and they fell for it again, and it was like, okay, that's a thing that happens every so many years. But it was kind of a sad concert because some people got trampled to death, and it was kind of a mess. Yeah. I always got to ruin everything.
Jasmine, the Bay City Rollers, the one that's singing the SATURDAY.
Are they Scottish?
I don't know, but something on Saturday.
If they're Scottish, then yes, but I don't know enough about what bands are
38
called.
Special. Oh, it's 38 Special open for Bad Company. Wow.
I don't know.
Billy Idol. Oh man, so
I know Matt has a lying story about a classmate about Billy Idol. Oh my god.
And wow, I'm sure that we were all children, and we've all told fibs, but there's some of these children that tell massive fibs, like they've hung out with celebrities and all this. So there was a boy it's not like he needed the popularity. I remember he was pretty popular anyway. But there was a Billy Idol concert, and the night before, he said that he went to the Billy Idol concert, and that Billy Idol invited him on stage and gave him his spiked glove. And we kept wanting to see the spiked glove. And he was just, he totally made it up. He didn't even go to the concert, it turns out.
It's sad that he felt he had to lie about it.
But why?
I don't know. Maybe he didn't have enough other stuff going on. He didn't actually do that and was like afraid to tell people or anything, right? I don't know.
He was a boaster.
Okay.
Guns N' Roses. That's Leela's first concert at Milton Keynes.
Oh, Milton Keynes is one of the first ever planned communities that were built around to be a bedroom community outside of London.
Oh, thank you, Wild Elf.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Milton Keynes. Remember Robin was doing a concert out there right after we saw him in Reading, I think. But Milton Keynes was one of the very first planned communities. Some people asterisked when they were like building Celebration here. Because they're like, look at Milton Keynes. It's like a thing where people go and they're working for a company and they're gonna work here.
A lot of people's first concert was New Kids on the Block.
Wow.
Because they sold out stadiums. I mean, there's probably a lot of kids that'll be... My first concert was Taylor Swift.
New kids. What's that?
My first concert was Taylor Swift, because it's...
Yeah, maybe. I took my niece to see Taylor Swift.
They have that many people.
13, yeah.
U2 was my first concert. Wow, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I remember my sister went to... My first concert was Rod Stewart. Second was Iron Maiden. Yeah, I was going to say those are two very different things.
Didn't we talk a lot about Rod Stewart last time? Or am
I just mentioned that he ruined a band called Small Faces.
Or The Faces? Oh, wait, no.
And that's all I'll say about him. And then we talked about who he was touring with or something.
Uh-huh.
And then, we talked about, like...
Yeah, we talked about him for, like, 20 minutes.
And Bryan Adams.
No offense, Rod Stewart.
And then he mentioned the Bryan Adams song, Have You Ever Loved a Woman?
Yep, that happened. A woman? Yeah. This is what painting is all about. Yeah.
Well, that's how Twitch is. If you go to anyone's channel, they just start talking.
I wouldn't know because I have not seen a Twitch channel other than mine, except for like Nuns for 2 seconds.
Trust me, they do not stay on topic.
It looked way better. Yeah, huh?
They do not stay on topic.
Is talking about that on topic, or am I missing something?
No, I mean about painting.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's probably because they're busy painting.
Wallflowers, okay.
Oh, Bob Dylan's son, Jacob Dylan.
My ex-husband grabbed his Billy Idol cassette tape bag of weed, then the fire department asked us to leave our house because the house next door was on fire.
That's how you can tell it's an ex-husband. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's like, honey, I'm skipping
But
town.
man, it's like the third time we brought up fire marshals in this one broadcast, isn't it? Fire marshals, man.
Fire marshals.
I can say that because my stepfather is a fire marshal.
We saw Billy Idol supporting Bon Jovi when I was about 14. I think that's the British way of saying opening for.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Robin will say that.
Whenever
like
I hear
supporting
support,
act.
it sounds. That's also.
It sounds political. Like he was thumbs up for Bon Jovi
It's
all
also
the way.
a British thing.
Man.
Like,
yeah.
what's football team do you support?
Oh yeah, that's.
You wouldn't say that.
That is
so much.
yeah, it's a
But
British
I get
thing.
it,
But yeah, it makes sense. But for
the
those who
Stones.
don't,
Saw the Stones on Saturday. Was that your first stuff?
That's nice.
And they didn't even use walkers. Oh, that's mean.
Oh.
Shame on you, Steve.
Should you have brought up the fact they weren't? Or hey, to be fair, they were doing a free show across from our apartment in London, like at Hyde Park, literally less than a block away in Hyde Park in London, a free show, and we missed it by a day. That was sad. Remember?
Yeah.
That was sad.
Billy Idol made his comeback in The Wedding Singer. Isn't he on the plane in that?
I have not seen that. Everybody keeps telling me I'd like it, but I don't know.
It's an 80s.
I know your sister
extravaganza.
liked it. Okay. Maybe if I was older or knew the music from it. But I've heard some people whose opinions I genuinely enjoy have told me I would like that movie. What do you think, babe? You know me better.
No, you would not like it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Dude, glad I made it to watch today. 5 daiquiri beer releases at a local brewery got me to get a few full pours after a taster board.
Wow.
Wow, happy Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah. Well, you were talking earlier, Maddie, about what are they called? IPAs, like beers that are stronger than you think beers are going to be.
Well, they can be. Not necessarily an IPA, but we were at we tried a really nice little restaurant called Ballast Point.
Yeah, I didn't have a beer there. Matt did.
No.
It's at Downtown Disney, not the one here in Florida, but the one in California.
No, just looking at the menu.
Yes. Yeah. They have a Ballast Point apparently is out of San Diego. They are a local brewery, and they have a new restaurant that is at Downtown Disney in California in Anaheim. And we got food there. Looked like they had a million really neat beers and really cool like artwork for the labels.
What was I did get a beer. I don't remember.
You
chocolate
got
thing?
some sort of beer. I forget. Chocolate stout or I don't know. I'm not a big beer person, but it looked good and it had like an anglerfish on it. It looked neat. Anyways, they're there at Downtown Disney in Anaheim, Ballast Point, and they had a lot of vegetarian, plant-based, and vegan options there. They had, what did we get?
I don't remember now.
Impossible lettuce cups.
Impossible lettuce cups.
Yes, and mushroom bao buns. Those were awesome. Yeah.
And for once, I didn't get the Impossible Burger.
No,
or
because
did
we
I?
had enough. You didn't, because we had enough other stuff. And
But I did try the Impossible
tasty.
Whopper the other day.
Yeah, Matt got one for each of us at the Burger King.
I
not
did not
far
realize
from
that they were
his,
so big.
House there. Yeah, I think Whoppers. I haven't had actual meat for 28 years, so I don't know what to compare it to. But yeah, Matt went and got a couple of Impossible Whoppers, and it tasted, as far as I can remember, again, almost 30 years out, as far as I can tell, it tasted like a regular Whopper, I think.
People are enjoying it quite a bit.
Yeah, they did something that was like, you could buy it there, that was called like a taste test, and a taste test bag, and it would have a, like a regular meaty Whopper, and it would come with like a discounted Impossible, plant-based Whopper in it, and so you can compare and contrast. Which is, the fact that you can even do that shows how much vegetarian food has come over the past 10 years. But
yeah.
20, 30,
if
40
it's actually
years.
good, people would want it.
Yeah, exactly. And if it's not super expensive. Sometimes you go to places and it's like, oh, the hamburger is $1.99, the veggie burger is $6.99, or, something where it costs a lot more.
It was kind of expensive.
Yeah, and now it's...
It's like, was $5 or something for the one burger.
Which one?
Burger King.
No, they are cost the
Whopper.
same as the same Whopper, aren't they?
Uh-uh.
If you get the taste test thing, I think it makes them.
It makes it $7.
It makes it so they're for 2 of them, so it's $3.50 each.
That's true, but for me who
no, I'm saying for people who usually eat like hamburgers, it's
sure
actually
how much
worth it.
Usually is.
I don't know, but you can get 2 of them for like a meat one and a regular one for $7. So if you want to really compare and contrast.
That Nintendo guy said, since you're talking about fast food, does anyone remember when McDonald's served pizza?
No, I am not a good person to ask.
That must have been a thing up north, dude.
The McDonald's I went to was in Rajasthan, and they didn't serve beef at it. So that is probably very different than regular McDonald's. I had it, and I had something called a mixed spicy paneer, and it cost about 60 cents US, which was really good.
Lila's suggesting cashew time.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're talking about food, man.
Yeah. I might grab one of those tofurkey things.
Go Furky. I'll show you my little dice I've been working on here. I'll show you the actual dice too, because I've got it right by here. Here, I'll show you, but.
Happy one's already blocked because
they are actually, yeah. Anyway, so. Okay. Sorry, don't mean to cuss anybody. Let's see. So, if I were to look at this die, it's a 4-sided die. Again, it's, 4 numbers, but it's a pyramid. Got a 1 at the upper right, a 3 at the bottom, and a 4 at the upper left. And that is what I'm looking at when I painted this, and also when I took the photo. So you can see that's the same dice there. I'm just not cheating, but I'm trying to keep the lighting consistent when I am painting to make sure that the light source is the same direction when I am working on this. So if I look at this sort of picture here and I see, oh, that's that dice, and it looks like the lower right hand corner is super bright because I've got a light source coming from the upper left hand side. This is a good example of how I can kind of create my own still life out of stuff I have lying around my studio. So I'm going to really kind of accentuate the fact that that is super bright. I'm going to also bring it forward more. If you look at it, this one, it's almost on top of the blue one, but I want it to be closer to the viewer, which is why it would look really dumb if you're going to like print it out big and trace over it. It would look like it was in the wrong place because I want it to look like she's actually sitting on a pile of dice instead of like getting her school picture in front of a backdrop. I always try to make things look like they exist in real time, even though my characters aren't especially realistic. I want them to look as if they were realistic, they could live in the same world that you and I live in. One thing I might think about it also a bit too is the background. Somebody asked earlier if it was going to be dungeon master themed, etc. And I don't want to put a whole lot of detail in the background, not just because I have to have it finished by Friday, but also because I want to keep it consistent in case anybody's collecting the other paintings that I've done that are in the same series. If you look at this one, which I think was I've already forgotten. Was it a 11 by 14 or a 9 by 12? The one I did?
I don't know.
I don't remember either. Anyways, it's just on a piece of paper. It's one I did for the Hyatt hotels for the DragonCon people. And I kind of put a bit of a background in there because I'd done some little figurine designs that were holding dice, and I wanted the background to look like that. And that's a larger, more realistic one. So I think this one would probably be more along those lines. So I might put a bit of like a stone wall or like some mossy sort of rocks or something in the background. And the other ones just kind of have, again, these are just not good prints, but in the background you mostly see her fancy hair and her little baby dragon and cute stuff like that. There's just kind of like a blue-gray ambient sort of light in the background. I think this is the first one I did. Is it the 20-sided dice? I think that was the first one. I don't remember now. I should know this. Anyway, she's got kind of the blue-green algae sort of background, as does she. So that's kind of
I like that background, Jasmine.
I like it too. It's one of my favorite colors. If you can't see the back of my wall, I probably got a billion lines pointed at me, but my studio is kind of a blue-green kind of gray mossy color, and that's my favorite color. That's why my studio is that color.
Like your apron, kind of.
It's kind of the offset of whatever, when I'm painting a character that kind of looks like me. that's the opposite of what the skin tone is. Like, I'm kind of a peachy white color, so if I paint a character that looks like me, it's going to look really nice against that color. If somebody has really dark brown skin, it's going to look really nice against that color. If somebody's got more reddish sort of terracotta skin, it's going to look really nice against that color. It's a really good color to set it offset flesh tones, and since I tend to paint figurative works with humanoid sort of characters in it, it's a color that's going to make them stand out no matter what color skin is. So this one's gonna be kind of so far peachy, but she's gonna have some uplights on her that are kind of bluish green, and she's gonna have like a rainbow of different dyes kind of uplighting, like I said, a stained glass window. That's going to really be offset if I keep that kind of verdigris color. Yeah.
Shadow Dancer just gave us 1,000 bits.
Oh, awesome. That sounds cool.
And then when she did that, it earned me a new emoji.
It earned you a new emoji?
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know.
I don't know from Twitch, but it sounds like a good thing. That sounds awesome.
It looks like a little, I don't even know what it
is. Is it a picture? Is it like one of my pictures?
Or is Fight PC.
Oh, okay.
PC. Yeah. Down with PCs, I guess. I don't know what Fight PC
Go, iPhones and iPads or Mac. Yeah. Go Mac.
Go Mac.
Yeah. iMacs. That's the wave of the future. So I'm going to take some kind of bluish green random background, sort of brownish neutral, because if humans have, bits of blood vessels under their skin, and the opposite of blood vessels is going to be blue-green. If you think of blood vessels as being like super red, then anything else you're going to put behind that, if you make it the opposite two colors, like the complementary colors, then it will offset it. And it will keep it in contact in the same universe as the other paintings in the same series. I can also do that to kind of offset the fact that I made her hair kind of into a body shape that's coming up here. I want her to look balanced. I don't want her to look like she's tipping over to one side or the other. So when I drew the little dragon here, I kind of made her hair going, woo!
Thorn Tree Lady.
Not that her really does that, but who is that?
We got a winner, Thorn Tree Lady.
Lovely.
And they won before too.
Oh, have they really?
Mm-hmm.
And this is for the 10-sided diapharia.
It is.
Oh, it shows real good. Maybe I'll put it up there. I always ghost out on these things. Yay! And she normally will only be for people at DragonCon. As will be the next one. We've got Kieran and Shemasan. Kieran, for those who have been asking, it's like, which one's Kieran? Is that the girl? It's like, no, Kieran is the magical giraffe dragon, because that's an actual thing, well, mythology-wise, in Japan. And Shemasan is that sort of three-stringed, or is it four? I forget. Guitar that is part of silk music, the sort of Japanese traditional music that you would see geishas playing and stuff. So
it's not like the German plural of Seamus.
No, Shemasan. Nein, das ist nicht. If there's a bad German joke, I've yet to hear it. No, I've heard a lot. Sorry.
It's like, look, there's two Seamus. It's Seamus.
That's an Irish and a German joke. Oh, it's a different sort of Seamus. That might be too obscure for anybody to get. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to take this kind of turquoise gray color, and I'm going to start outlining where the main characters are, including the dragon and the wings, just so when I'm thinking about doing the shading of where the upper left hand sort of light source is coming from, that I won't accidentally think, oh, there's a bump there, and it's not a bump. It's actually part of her wing, or actually part of her hair, or part of the little dragon's legs. I don't want to leave him, three-leggedy unless it's part of his story. I'm going to get some more the turquoise. Oh, it's Daxine purple. Here we go. Turquoise phthalo, which is a super high pigmented, high chroma saturated sort of paint that is from golden fluid acrylics. I usually mix it and knock it down with a handful of other notes, like I'll put Naples Yellow or Titan Buff, or even I don't know, raw umber, so it doesn't look so super saturated when I'm putting on there because it's meant to be in the background. The more saturated or the higher chroma that's in a color, the more it's going to stand out when you look at it. So if I make something kind of amorphous, kind of grayed out, like if you see a mountain from far away or like the downtown of a town from far away, it looks kind of blue. I'm going to kind of do that with the background so it looks like it's far away.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Steve went on a princess cruise to Alaska last week.
Fun.
And a sculpture plus one serigraph of all characters at Tiki Party.
Oh,
like the Tiki Room?
I heard about the Tiki Party. People were talking about that when I was in California. I don't know enough about it. Was he leaving out of Seattle then?
Maybe.
Ah.
All those cruise ships certainly pass there.
Yeah.
Oh, is that his first art auction?
Oh, that's one I may, or cross your fingers, might be doing maybe not that cruise line specific, but I might be doing some cruise ship art things in the future.
Jasmine.
Again, cross your fingers. I think it's a fun place to do a show at because you're on a cruise. But yeah.
Would you ever paint with black 3.0?
Let me see which. Oh, what do I have here?
What is that?
I have black 3.0. I have not actually even gotten to use it yet, but I got some. I have not even really opened this properly. I know I had to like sign something that Anish Kapoor couldn't get it, but I saw his. No, I really did. I've got I have a pin that talks about how I would not let Anish Kapoor use this actual vial of paint here. I am not joking. I've got a pin right there. I'll show it next time we get to the bathroom. But I did see his Instagram, and he was using it and just kind of fiddling around with it, like he doesn't have other stuff to do. But yeah,
Jasmine,
I got some. We'll see how it works. I haven't really tried it yet. I hope it works really well. So I hope so too, because
I'm gonna paint it all over my body, and it's gonna be like invisible ink.
If you're in front of something that was significantly less, orchestrating the light around you, that might be working. Yeah.
Shadow Dancer says Evangeline says hi.
Hi,
and she loves the painting. She's wondering why you're putting the blue like that.
Oh, I'm starting to work on the background, and part of the reason I'm putting the blue around it here, even though it's not really designating any sort of background structure, is so when I'm deciding things like what color should her outfit be, what color should her hair be, what color should her wings be, what color should her dragons be, I want to kind of tie that in with the very brilliant colors of, brilliant like brightly colored, not like it's awesome to have these colors of the dice that I've started to lay in the background. I've got an almost rainbow kind of hue at the bottom. So I want to try to knock down the background to be within one or two kind of color well shades of everything else, so it doesn't look like rainbow bright all the time. And that if I have everything else kind of more not monochromatic but semi-chromatic, it would make the dice that again, here's my little photo I took earlier of my actual dice that I had when I was making my little still life. That will make the dice show up and look kind of more magic than a sort of boring sort of background I have. The more boring the background, the more bright it will look like when I have the dragon and the dice and the things that I'm trying to tell the narrative of when I'm doing the painting. So I'm just starting to put that around there. So I think of everything. And again, I've shown the last, oh golly, what are these? 4 to 5 paintings I've done also for DragonCon. They've all had that kind of neutral verdigris, blue, green, gray. Jasmine's
like that.
Favorite color background. And I think it's, again, it's
Are the Resurrected
good.
Like that then?
Yeah, that's the same color I use on that. It's very good if you have a character that either a face or a figurative work that is in front of it that is going to be any shade of the typical human spectrum, whether it's copper or dark brown, light pink, white, super bluish white, doesn't matter. It's going to look really good against blue, green, gray, which is kind of the complement to any blood under skin tone that's going to be in front of it. So that will make the character pop out. And you will see that when you go to an art museum and you see portraits of people from all over the world from 200 years ago. You'll see this kind of gray amorphous sort of blob in the background. And the reason they do that is because it makes whatever sort of humanoid shape any color, any shape in front, it's gonna show up better.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
When you open your black 3.0, see if it smells like cherries.
Oh, are they scented?
No, someone said that they think it does.
I had a hair dye that was I usually dye that. In the past year or so, I've been dyeing the end of my hair red, and it always comes with like a different scent. Like sometimes it's strawberry, sometimes it's whatever. So let me see it. I don't want to spill this all over, or it will like go into like a deep space vacuum. Let's see. No, it doesn't. It smells like painter's putty, or not carpenter's putty. Like if you had a hole in the wall and you've got to like redo some gypboard, spackle over it. No, doesn't smell anything like cherries.
It doesn't smell like cherries.
It smells like spackle. Sorry to be all construction workery about it. That's my roots. Let's see. Yeah, it smells like construction worker stuff, like old kind of coveralls that I've used a million times. Maybe there was a cool one that I didn't get. I was an early adopter for the Black 3.0. I just have not gotten the chance to use it.
Jasmine, Ian says, forget if it smells like cherries. Does it taste like them?
I have tasted most types of paints out there, but I don't want to go into it on record because I don't want to be held liable if somebody gets poisoned.
Blob Help says he's been lied to. Oh,
no, there might very well be some. There was, again, that's Black 3.0. There was a Black 2.0, a Black 1.0, I'm guessing. Maybe even some in between that. Maybe there's like a 2.8.0 / maybe they put a G at the end or an X or something cool that makes people want to buy it. I don't know. They could ask the people at Apple.
I like cherries.
I like cherries too.
I wonder which sort of cherry.
Well, let me think. It's coming from the
Black
Pacific
cherries?
Northwest. It might be one of the oh, what are those? Rainier cherries? I like those. I'm from Washington. Those are lovely.
Jasmine?
Yeah?
Evangeline says the dragon should be black with red wing webbings.
Okay.
And Penelope says just say hi and that she sawed the painting and likes it.
Hi, Penelope. I'm happy you like the painting. Evangeline, yeah, I'll see what color I might make the dragon. And to be fair, I have thought about making it red, and I'll tell you why. If you look at the painting, and alternately, oh, where the heck did I put my little picture? Oh, there it is. There aren't a lot of red dye in there. I could not find any red transparent dyes here in my own house, other than this one that was not transparent, but is actually opaque. So that's the only element of red that is in that.
Thanks,
Which might
Jamie.
sound like I wouldn't want to put it in there, but I would like to put a color that is not represented in the front bit here to make it seem kind of more rainbow themed. So we shall see.
Oh, Shaylee just had a nice cuddle with Viago.
Oh,
I always worry that
little
about hurting birds. I always worried I'm going to break
birds
them.
always seem more, I don't know, fragile than they probably are.
Right.
Birds are pretty tough. We don't let birds in our house because our kitties, remember Rio earlier today, looking outside wanting to bite. We have 2 families of baby cardinals that live in our backyard, and Tiger Rio, our kitty, just looks out the window and wants to eat them all the time and just goes at the window. And it's like, no, you don't get to go outside. Those babies are babies. But what's that, babe?
Jane wants to know what the girl's holding in her hand.
Oh, she's holding a die here. That's actually an 8-sided dice here. It's kind of, it would be, or is that 10-sided dice? You know, I have a
8.
picture of it. I think it's showing the number 8, but I'm trying to think. I think
4-4.
Is that 4-4? Yeah, or is it 5-5?
10s are different.
Yeah, 10s are different. I was gonna say, it would have been one I actually took a picture of. Anyways, it's a dice. Or a die. It's funny, I always call them a die, and people are like, why are you calling it a die? I'm like, well, that's the singular for dice. You don't say that's a dice, you say those are dice. That is a die. But people don't really say that so much.
I got another weird emote from Tammy Tyrone's, since she subscribed again.
Oh, excellent. Well, thank you, Tammy.
I'll see what this
There
one
we
is.
go. That's the one. That's an 8-sided die. It is, it was a green one in my layout when I was looking at it, because it was literally this one. That's a good example too. I've got a really bright light over me here, and you can see how it kind of makes my thumb turn green underneath it, which is why I'm putting all these different colors underneath the dice, like under the yellow. I've kind of smudged a bunch of yellow. There's a bunch of pink over here. There's a bunch of blue over here. I'm not keeping it towards the die. It's like having a bunch of really brightly colored berries or fruit or, Christmas ornaments or anything that would be really reflexive and like throwing lights on everything. Anyway, she's going to hold a dice that's kind of more sized to her proportions as opposed to the large ones that she's sitting on. And I put an 8. I was probably thinking about this when I drew it originally, whenever that was. And she's holding it, and it's going to have an 8 at the top and a 3 on the bottom, which is why I always have these dice by me. So somebody doesn't say, oh no, an 8's going to have a 2 under it. It doesn't. It's got an 8, it's got a 3, and that's what I looked at when I drew it. So that's why it's an 8 and a 3.
And if you guys didn't know, on a D6, if you add up the opposite sides, it always adds up to 7.
It do.
6, 1, 2, 5, 3, 4.
Anybody who plays craps would have done that. I'm not cussing. That's the name of the game.
Jasmine.
Oh.
And that's not really that.
It's not. I don't know. I got in trouble at school if we said that.
Well, I know so many kids that thought craft paper was something else besides craft paper.
I remember when our school redid the black asphalt in front of our school, and everybody had a kick about that for like 2 days.
Not my fault. The asphalt.
Exactly.
Now they call it the tarmac.
I tried to eat some of it. Huh?
Now they call it the tarmac, right?
It depends what country you're in. Tarmac technically is only supposed in America. It's only supposed to refer to a where a plane is landing is tarmac. Yeah, it's called a tarmac. In England, for some reason, they refer to asphalt as tarmac, even if it's like on a roof where a plane is not going to land. I could be wrong. This is just my personal experience, and I'm famously not good at paying attention to things. So
that's okay.
Yeah, it's only so much time you got.
It is 3 weeks till I see Jasmine again. 7 weeks till my wedding at Kansas City Renaissance Festival.
Oh, they're getting married at the Renaissance Festival.
And wait, and honeymoon at Disney World.
Wow. Heck, you might see me twice. I don't even have my schedule for... If you see me twice, that's hilarious. That's pretty great. That's a win-win. Well, congratulations. Cool. I hope you have a
fantastic... Disney World is a great place to have a honeymoon.
Yeah. I'd recommend it to a lot of people. The Ren Fair is a fun place, and Disney World is a fun place, so that sounds like you're in for some fun time.
Yeah, I mean, the only real danger at Disney World is, like, doing too much stuff and getting tired.
Yeah. That's a definite danger.
Well, it can be, because you could just be exhausted, and the next day you just want to stay in.
Yeah, before I moved here, I mean, there are times that we'd like be on the Haunted Mansion and literally be falling asleep on the ride. Not because we were bored, but because we sat down for 10 minutes, you know? I'm putting a bit more of Naples yellow in here, and I'm kind of blending out. I'll show you what I'm doing. I've got kind of the blue-green, again, like in the other paintings. I'll show this one as an example. Got the kind of blue-green right behind the character, and I want them, if somebody were to buy all of these, let's say they came to DragonCon every year and they got a painting, and they bought a dice-themed painting, I would want them to all kind of go together. So I want to make the background kind of that kind of, again, amorphous blue-green color. I'm also not worrying about covering up some of the lines I've done before. Some of these I'm probably not going to keep around, but a lot of it was just making sure that the main character had a sort of triangular sort of shape going from the bottom to the top. If you think about composition, it's always more pleasing to the eye if you have the base, if you have more of the interesting detail at the bottom of the painting wider than the interesting details at the top of the painting, because humans like to see pyramids that are bottom side up as opposed to the other. The other makes you kind of feel unsettled and something that you're like, that doesn't quite look right. It's like putting the light part of a painting at the bottom, which you can do if you're wanting to make people feel unsettled. Let's say you're doing some surrealist or cubist thing and you want it to look kind of like, I don't know what this painting makes me feel sort of thing. That's a really good device. But yeah.
People are saying this should be a pin for DragonCon 2020.
Oh, maybe so. This would be a cute one.
A lot of colors.
Yeah, it is a lot of colors, but to be fair, when I often do a painting and I cut it down to a pin, I usually pick maybe 6. I think 8 is the most I can really do in a pin and keep it functional. But if I were to, for example, do this pin, let me think, the ones I've done before, like how I've got this, the D10 pin, she is based off of this painting that I showed earlier. She's based off of one character in it, the Necromancer character here. I was kind of looking over her shoulder and she's holding a D10. You know it's a D10 because it's got a 0, and you usually don't see zeros on dice unless it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing and it's a D10. So I kind of turned this character here, which has a billion colors if you're going to think about it being very realistic. I've cut it down to several different colors. I've given her kind of a gray, white skin tone, kind of what I got, and then like purplish white hair, black hood, red wings. And I used some of my discretionary colors to make the die that she's holding look a bit more three-dimensional. I put the little skeletons around her outfit and on her shoulder. So this is an example of how I could cut down a painting that has a whole bunch of colors in it into one character that is definitely recognizable, but then only has a few enamel choices to be a solid enamel pin. So maybe I could maybe cut her down. Maybe I would put the dragon in it. For example, the D10 doesn't have the dragon in it because that would just be a whole nother thing and would take another month and a half for me to make the pin out of. But something like this, I could maybe just show her with her little bodice holding the 8-sided dice and some little wings off to the side. Yeah.
Steve asks, do you have an opinion on painting translucency of various wings versus opacity?
On various wings, like different types of wings?
I think that's what he means.
It depends on the painting and what sort of character it's trying to show. With things like dragon wings, often when I have something that I call a dragonling, it's going to be a fairy that is sort of matching the color and palette of whatever her dragon companion is. And this is kind of based off of sculptures that I've done or paintings I've done where it's kind of like, here's the human version of the character in the palette and here's the little dragon one. Here, I'll show you guys like the little ninja dragonlings, for example. She has very light colored wings, but they're definitely opaque. And the reason they're opaque is because she's a snow and ice fairy and she's got a little dragon that is blue and white, but he's not translucent. If I were to paint them in a painting that had a really strong backlit sort of light source, that would be something that would change that sort of dynamic. I ended up painting her in something that had a very subdued light source, which is the painting I was working on last weekend. So I gave her kind of an internal light that looked like it was coming from her more. So the crystalline and the clear translucent aspects were things like the ice shards and the bits of the dragon that are showing through the air, or like the little snow. But her wings I kept very opaque because if I didn't do that, the whole thing would start to look like an ice sculpture you'd see on a buffet at a cruise ship or something. And I wanted to make sure that it was also tied into the earth and stone / dirt and rock elemental that's there. Too cute. What's that, babe?
Her fierceness is too cute.
Oh, is she?
It reminds me of a, little Jasmine.
Hey.
Punchy little Jasmine.
I'm pretty punchy. But yeah, it depends on the setting and what the light scheme is more than anything else. If there's something that would show a lot of light behind something that is meant to be stretched taut, like a dragon wing, for example, this one is going to have kind of a murky background. If it had a really bright light source coming through here, one of the wings would be lighter than the other. And since I am wanting a bit of a shaft of light coming from the upper left-hand side, this wing over here might be a little bit more translucent. I might put some little veins in it as opposed to her wing on her right-hand side, which would also help to explain why the dice at the bottom look as if they are being lit up from the left-hand side. Yeah.
It's funny. In the room, so where it's talking about Midwestern people because they're talking about the Ren Fair. And I wonder how many people from the...
I never know what people are talking about in the room. I always just like talking about light sources.
It's cool because you can listen to...
Yeah, why not?
Both. And then you were talking about the different parts of the ninja painting.
Yeah.
And I asked Sassy if she had been to the Omaha Zoo.
Oh yeah.
And it made me think about the desert up top.
Oh
and
yeah, the biosphere
below.
at the
Not
top.
that
yeah.
it's two different elements.
They kind of are. That's more of a Magic the Gathering sort of. It's like, hey, there's a swamp, and then there's nighttime. Those are elements, right? You know. But no, that's a good point. The desert is there in Omaha especially in August. If you're there then, I've been to the Omaha Zoo. I don't know, probably 15 times, and I've been there in the summer several times. If you're there in that biosphere it's like a geodesic kind of dome that is there. It's almost like Spaceship Earth if it was clear, and that's where the desert biome is, and it is very, very concentrated, being a very warm, dry, arid area. And then if you go underneath it, that is where it turns into the Louisiana nocturnal swamp darkness thing with alligators and beavers and things that are living in the water, and it's not, or nutria, I think, are there. Who else? There's some really cute. What other animals are there that are nocturnal that we always see? I forget.
That are you said.
Yeah,
the
they have an insectorium sort of area that's very cute too.
I don't know.
They've got
I
a lot
love
of
it down
strange.
there.
Yeah, it's really neat.
That's
And
amazing.
also, if you're
It's
there,
cool.
if you're there in August, that's a place to be. It's air conditioned down there. And they've got Hy-Vee Hummingbird Canyon, so that's nice. One of the funniest branding I've
Shadow
ever
Dancer
seen.
has a question about the painting.
What's that?
If the background is murky, how do you explain the bright dice?
Oh, because I'm thinking the background or the light source is actually going to be coming from the front. If I'm thinking from the front to the left, which is, if you look at my photo I took of the dice, you can kind of see like a half moon circle that is going in front of that, and that's because I had a flashlight like I use when I go out swamping here in Florida. I taped it in front of the dice and I put it like on a cup and I set it in front of it, and that's why there's kind of a circle around there. So I'm going to pretend, and I've got a bright light here, I don't know if y'all can see it, it's like up here to my upper left, but in front of the painting, much like how it is lit now. I'll put some little notations here. It's like the front part of our hair will be light there, front part of her shoulder be light. What I really want is this front part of her leg to be light. So as if the viewer was holding a flashlight from the upper left hand sword to the character's face there. That is the same direction that I had put my little flashlight when I took this picture. So that should keep the light on the dice consistent, and the shadows of where the dice are throwing their colors on would be consistent also.
Good question.
So it's not behind her. The background is murky. Like if you look at again, I would have probably put more thought on this. I didn't originally know I'd be doing this one on Twitch. This is just for me, my own reference. If you look at the background of my living room / kitchen, I have a big giant studio. I don't even know what room I am in really, but it's kind of a murky gray, black, brown. That's how it's going to look, and that will be kind of a cool dark tone here. And then the highlight's going to be from the front, looking to the upper left. And that will be the light source for the main character here. And also for the dice down here, which will help give it a level of realism, because if I make the dice look super realistic, people don't think, oh my god, that fairy's head is like 8 times bigger than it should be for her body, because my characters are kind of like that. But you will have the illusion, the suspension of disbelief when you see a little bit of realism added to the ancillary items like the dice.
I always like that term. Suspension of disbelief.
Oh, I do too.
Good term.
I like
Wob help says,
disbelief.
quote Andrew Lesney, pronunciation, not sure. When asked about lighting that looks unmotivated, he says, where's the light coming from? The same place as the music.
Ah, there you go.
Little tiny speakers.
Oh, that's
what he meant, right?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he meant.
That's
but that is usually
like
something I think of. For example, when I took the picture 1 hour ago of the dice that I was lining up, I did not even know what the painting was going to look like. I didn't even necessarily know what the scene was going to look like. Maybe it'd have multiple characters in it, like this one did. This one, the light source was kind of from the little staff she's holding, so it kind of goes out from there. But this I'm trying to treat more realistically. So I know what the dice are going to look like. I know where the light was on that. So it's not cheating, but since it was something that really existed, and I've got my little bucket of, or my Ziploc of dice here, I could reenact it if I wanted and hold up my flashlight again, or I can just look at my picture and I know where it's going to come from. And just having that level of realism will help the rest of it seem more authentic, even though it's a picture of a fairy and a dragon, which are not completely realistic, depending what world you currently live in.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Have you thought about hair color yet?
No, I haven't. That's part of the reason I was, I'm thinking about lighting because we were talking about it, but that's kind of why I was putting that kind of bluish gray in the background, since I use that on the other 4 or 5 paintings I've done in the same series. I want to see what would kind of set off compared to the very bright colors at the bottom. And the other paintings I've done, they've been very simplistic as far as color pattern does. Actually, these two are kind of similar. I didn't think about it at the time. I was probably, I think one of my painted in London, one I painted in Kansas City. So I didn't necessarily have them to look at at the same time, but both of these were kind of pink, opaque sort of dice that were very big, and you'd look at the dice and people say, oh, that's an 8-sided dice, it's got an 8. Oh, that's a 12-sided dice, it's got a 12. You got a 20-sided one. That you could see the 20. I think that was the first one. Yeah, and it's like, oh, there's a 20-sided dice. It's got a 20. And these are kind of polyhedron, sort of dodecahedron, sort of opaque shapes. This one, since I'm wanting a bunch of dice, as if maybe she's your lucky fairy sitting on the table when you're gaming, or something that is more involved and more three-dimensional, I don't know what color I want to use for her yet. I might use a more neutral color of hair. I might make her hair look like mine because, you know, I've got black hair, it kind of matches everything, and I could kind of do some reflections. Maybe like I've got this purple dice that was here. Let's see, do I have it in, is that in the painting, or make that one up?
Make a cool dice bag.
That would make such a cool dice bag. Yeah, it would. But yeah, if I make her hair black or anything, let's say there's this purple dice that's poking out, I'm kind of basing it off of this one. Again, ignore that little fairy in the background. It was just like sitting on my table when I took it. Don't think that's part of the painting. This was not meant for Twitch. This was just meant for me. But if I have this purple here, and she's sitting on the blue, if she has black hair that's right next to that purple, I'll make some kind of purple reflection on there. So whether I give her dark hair or light hair, I'm going to be playing in with the, like this one will be super green, because wow, that's like a super green dice right there. That will be kind of reflecting on the belly of the dragon. That will be reflecting on her hair. If you have something that is translucent and crystalline that a light is actually hitting, it's almost like having a prism and light is hitting it, and it's going to be making different colors on something that could be a very boring, let's say she's got grayish brown hair. It's going to look beautiful because it's going to be like she's under a stained glass window almost. I probably put too much thought into it.
That made me think about, is it Paris that has beautiful stained glass in the castle?
They do have beautiful, what do you mean in Paris? They have
no, at the Disneyland.
Oh, Disneyland. Oh,
just at Sunshine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Paris has got some stained glass windows, baby. Yeah. Yeah. If you're talking about at Disney, at the Sleeping Beauty's castle there.
Yeah.
Or Cendrillon. Yeah, that's a lovely one. They've got the stained glass windows. You can actually walk in that one too, and you can see the lovely dragon that is underneath the castle at Disney in Paris, at Disneyland Paris too. It was massive. It's like a 30-foot dragon that really breathes flame, and it's an animatronic. He's very subtle. A lot of people don't know you can go under the castle there at Disney.
He looks really upset.
He didn't expect people to know that they could go down there either, so he's kind of grumpy that people are bothering him when he's trying to go to sleep.
Their haunted mansion's a bit different.
The Phantom Manor.
Phantom Manor, and it's it's Wild West.
It is. It's like 19th century American Old West sort of themed, and it's genuinely kind of scary. And I mean that when you're looking at the American versions or the Japanese versions or the Asian versions of Disney's Haunted Mansion, they're kind of like tongue-in-cheek, sort of a pun, a visual pun, sort of funny things that are happening, and everybody's in on the joke. The one that is at the Phantom Manor in Paris is genuinely kind of scary. You go underground for a while, and you go under a cemetery, and you see coffins that have opened up, and there are skeletons that have tried to
like
claw their way out.
Well done haunted house.
Yeah, it's genuinely kind of scary. And then, there are things that are not alluded to in the American and Asian equivalents of the Phantom Manor, which would be the Haunted Mansion here and everywhere else other than Paris. Also, remember the the cemetery, the monuments that are around there. There are some that I thought were kind of grown-up themed. I'll leave people to remember them for themselves, but they seem very French in the best kind of way. And Mr. Toad is represented there at Disneyland Paris, but not as a ride, but as a British fish and chip shop for some reason. But they have all of his portraits there, which is neat. And you can get a beer there if you're there before 10 a.m. because they run out at noon, apparently. Which is a hard thing to do in the other
What was their Blue Bayou
Disneyland
restaurant called?
It's called Blue Lagoon.
Blue Lagoon? That was a fun. That was a good restaurant.
I've been there multiple times there in Paris, and that is lovely. It is the best, I think, of the Blue Bayou slash... actually, I think they're only called Blue Lagoon and Blue Bayou as far as the Disney ones that are outside the Pirates of the Caribbean rides. That was lovely. Hey, and they let you get wine there. Remember, they brought out a little bucket, with a champagne in it.
And all the nice people...
all the people on the rides are like, bon appetit, when they're going by. That was lovely.
That was fun.
Yeah. What time is it?
6:34.
Getting kind of orangey stuff on this. I don't know if I have time to
do you want
wash my hands real quick.
I was gonna grab do you need a drink of water or anything?
I'm fine. I was gonna go wash my hands real quick. Just got a bunch of blue and green. I didn't want to run away.
Do they have Dole Whip? I'm not sure. I don't remember. I don't think they have Dole Whip in Paris.
Don't they have a tiki room type thing there that has...
They might. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe so. I don't remember if they had that or not. They have Dole Whip at Disney Springs now. Yeah, the line for Dole Whip was crazy at the Tiki Room a couple weeks ago, and that was like in the middle of the night. I don't think they have Dole Whip in Paris. I don't. They might have it in Paris proper. They have Angelina's hot chocolate, which is amazing. If anybody in there loves chocolate and you're in Paris, you have to have the Angelina's hot chocolate. It's basically like drinking straight chocolate. It just melted. It's crazy. Yeah, Dole Whip might be too American. Is that an American company? Yeah, I think it might be. Well, you'd love it, Shadow Dancer. It's crazy, but you gotta let it cool for a while because it's like drinking chocolate lava. Not like chocolate lava cake, but the temperature of lava. But I am a wimp when it comes to really, really hot beverages. I have to wait till coffee gets cold, basically. Or what I do is I just add a bunch of cold water to it. I can't drink really hot things, which isn't good for tea. I just have to let it cool for a while. It's different than ganache. I don't know unless it's pure ganache and it's all melted down. But it's amazing. Oh, you're gonna snatch her? Yep. Oh. You could snatch a dime if you want. We're talking about Angelina's chocolate.
Oh.
Oh, that one was fun. That one's really when it burnt my lip. I thought I did. It sounds a tad like Victorian hot chocolate that I tried at a manor house Could very well be.
It's like a melted chocolate bar almost.
Yeah, it's insane. Have you had the drinking chocolate during Food and Wine in the American Pavilion at Epcot? We had some of the drinking. Didn't we have that?
We had some Vosges drink.
Oh, okay. Yeah, does anyone know the company Vosges? Jasmine, I like the chocolates. Yeah, Oh my, no, Jasmine.
Wow, you grow with every day, Gamer. You're amazing.
Time to start nighttime. The girls need a bath. Okay. Catch you later, Shadow.
Oh, Gammy's cozy.
Very thick and even had some cinnamon in it. That sounds good.
Yeah, if you drink like, if you have like Mexican hot chocolate, it's always got like chili peppers and cinnamon in it, and that's good.
Yeah, she's being a teddy bear. That's good.
Oh, she is.
Epcot Food and Wine Festival has Dole Whips with rum. Yep.
Mm-hmm. She's being a bit rally. Oh. Hey, don't fight. Being good though. She's a bit
Mimi
like
says, please ask Jasmine to post a finished photo of Dice on Patreon.
Oh, I will.
I would to see her finished. Thank you.
Oh yeah, definitely. I definitely will do. It might actually be from Atlanta when no, honey, go that way. Okay. Anyways, when I am finished, I definitely will do.
You bring the rum with you, all Dole Whips, and you made adult.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. I don't know what the rules are at the Magic Kingdom, but
yes, as a good ambassador for Disney, I would suggest not bringing that into the park. That would not be a good idea.
Although at Magic Kingdom they've got let me think. Well, at the Beauty and the Beast restaurant you can get rum at it or wine at it. Yeah.
Yeah. But I would not recommend bringing it yourself.
Oh no, you can't. I don't think they'd let you do
don't
that.
smuggle the rum in the in the
as much as they make you think you can smuggle things,
because all the pirates.
Well, I was going to talk about Galaxy's Edge. We went on the smuggling like virtual thing, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's opening now here in Florida too.
It's open already. Yeah. I'd like to do the Wreck-It Ralph also.
I was talking about in Florida, Galaxy's Edge.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh.
You're talking about the
Void.
Yeah, the Void.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
very different, but
I'm sorry, Star Wars.
That's okay. Yeah, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is opening. If it's not open now, it's certainly getting that way, and they are doing cast member and annual pass holder previews as we speak, and they might already be open beyond that.
Yeah,
so
we got to do Galaxy's Edge in California. It was fun.
Yeah, we only got to go on the one ride.
The other ride isn't open yet.
The other one was not open yet, or wasn't open when we were there. It was hard to tell. I've not kept as close attention to the opening things in California because I'm only there maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
Jasmine and I were pilots in the ride. And
we were both pilots. Yeah. We shared our responsibilities.
We didn't do very good.
And speaking of, we had been at Downtown Disney right before that, and a couple of glasses of wine were to have been had, so that is not a good idea for pilots. But they apparently have a cantina you can go to.
Yeah, the line was crazy.
Yeah, apparently they've got that here in Florida too, and it's also crazy. And I hear you gotta wait 2 hours to go stand up. But yeah. And they have a 2-drink maximum in Florida. Oh. You know how if you go to like a comedian and they have a 2-drink minimum?
Oh yeah.
In Florida at Galaxy's Edge, it's a 2-drink minimum for the cantina because everybody wants to go to the cantina because they've been seeing it for 40 years on TV and everything. And, although it's not Mos Eisley's in either one of them, it's Olga's. It's the one that is in the first trilogy, I think. Yeah.
Oh, parts 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So you have to forgive me. I didn't grow up with them, so I kind of saw them in order. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I kind of don't have the same experience as everybody else, but Yeah, but it looks like there's lots of animatronics, and it looks really neat.
They said it opens 29th to the public.
Yeah, okay. It basically during DragonCon is when everything is happening. And the Renaissance Festival, Galaxy's Edge, and DragonCon. Those 3 things are everything. So.
Well, Haunted Mansion was the 50th. It was also the 50th of Woodstock.
And other things.
Lots of things.
Lots of things.
Yeah.
It's a busy time.
It was a busy, scary time.
It was a scary, busy time. Yeah.
Whenever I hear of Disney, I hear queues. Is that quite a common thing to contend with if you visit Disney? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to going to Peter Pan's playground in a tiny seaside town. Oh. The queuing is not a thing. It's not the same thing.
Oh, it's not the same thing. I mean, I've actually, they're from the UK. I've tried to tell people that, like, if they are used to see me somewhere like Glastonbury and you like come up and say, hey, Jasmine, Matt, let's go to the pub. Let's go look at this. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And Disney, it's like, we've assigned you a virtual queue number. It's for 2.5 hours from now. And we're going to alert you on your phone if you download the app. And then you can say hi to Jasmine. It's a very different dynamic. It's not just Disney. It's... I don't know. It's probably just like having a larger customer base or whatever the heck people would say for, I don't know, like something like DragonCon. I was trying to explain to a coordinator who was doing a show that was not in the United States, and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing a show next week that has around 80 to 100,000 people at it. Is it going to be something like that? And it's hard to put that in context if you're not used to that sort of situation. And that is kind of like Disney for a lot of people. It's easy to think, oh, I'm going to go ride the Dumbo ride and Mickey Mouse will be there. And it's like, no, well, if you let them know 30 days ahead of time and then you book this and then you can. And...
Hey, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Sassy has a reservation for the Cantina building in October.
That's what I'm talking about. See, it's not even this month. It's not next month. It's the next month.
Gee whiz.
Yeah. And I would very much like to go there. And that sounds like a great kind of way to experience that sort of land. The whole the design of Galaxy's Edge is amazing. It's very immersive, don't you think, Matt?
Yes, it's like Cars.
It is. It's like going there and you're like, oh my god, I feel like I'm here. I can't tell the castle's over there. I can't tell I'm in Florida or California.
Well, that's because as soon as you go through this area, it's kind of closed off. And then it suddenly becomes
it is like being, the whole thing is almost being in, it's not like a holodeck thing, but it's getting there. And the whole, but it's real. I mean, it's actually sculpted. It is well designed. The only thing I could compare it to would be another Disney thing, which would be like the Pandora Land in Animal Kingdom here in Florida. That is very immersive, don't you think, love?
Yes.
And similarly, they have 2 rides. They've got one which is kind of a virtual ride, and they have one that is like another e-ticket sort of physical
maybe that's
ride.
How that...
That's probably a good, I'm not to talk Disney out of Disney, but I think that might be a good sort of template to go with, and it's been working very well, and it's very impressive. I mean, even my dad liked the Pandora stuff, and I would not have expected that.
Kintra says that you're not guaranteed a sitting spot.
Nope.
At the Cantina.
I've heard 80% of it is standing.
Well, I think...
Which in itself makes it sound kind of cool. It's like standing room only at a concert or something. You know what I mean?
They said it really wasn't for them, but the thing is, if you can actually get a drink inside the Magic Kingdom Park, it's impressive.
Yeah. In California especially, because again, they've kind of relaxed the rules in Florida because it's Florida, but... I'm taking some Naples yellow and I'm mixing it in with that kind of turquoise, phthalo turquoise that I was using earlier. It's not very exciting. It's very boring. So let Matt talk because this is
this is something you told me about a while back that I never saw.
Oh.
Ian saw a D23 presentation for the new Star Wars hotel.
Oh gosh,
and it looks amazing. Your whole stay is an interactive experience. The room windows even look out to space, which changes as your journey goes.
It looks kind of ridiculous. You know, like when you're in let's say you're in line for Space Mountain, and you look out, and you're like, oh, there's a space station out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like that times a million.
Scared me.
Yeah, well, I know it did.
That's
why I'm bringing it up to you. But No, it's like that times a million, and it's in the hotel. And there are no exterior windows in the hotel.
There are no windows
and
no doors.
But no, it's kind of like that, and it's very, very space station. I mean, it looks very Black Mirror. It's kind of
cool. I want to go out like
it
that.
looks super neat, and I don't know how much of the concept art will be used in the final version of it, but it looks super neat. I could see them doing that and saying, I'm sorry, folks, it's booked up for the next 4 years or something. And people are like, oh, yeah, makes sense. Because that's what people say with Disney when, oh, yeah, makes sense. So,
Radovich says they have a reservation for the cantina on the 6th of September.
In Florida or California? Just in Florida, right? Because I don't think California is letting people take reservations, are they?
I don't know.
Or if they are,
maybe
maybe I didn't know that.
It looked like a line for the whole day.
Yeah. Well, apparently, according to the Florida one, I think it has 24 seats, but it has a 82 person. Don't quote me. I don't work for Disney. I'm an independent contractor. I have nothing to do with the company. But I think it has around 80 people capacity, and it has like 20 some seats. So they could have made it. It's like when they had Trader Sam's open at the Polynesian. You know what I'm talking about, Andy? They could have made it like 4 times as big, and it would still be crowded.
Yes.
I
don't know.
Well, I know what people. Yeah, and that's kind of a weird marketing gray area that. I mean, even we run into that doing stuff like DragonCon. It's like, well, I could have made 100,000 pins available and break it. And it's like, well, at some point, you just have to just say no. Just the people who care enough will hang around for it, and I don't know. But I'm happy they're putting a lot of their best people on it and a lot of really talented people in the design element on it. And it should be well worth it. And I have nothing to do with that part of the company. So that's just me saying that.
Yep. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious. I've been talking about.
Oh, yeah. See? Well, a lot of people haven't even been over there, and that was a lot of fun. That is a lot of fun, and that is something that was difficult for people who were not living here to even see come into fruition, sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that we're talking about the Beauty and the Beast area in Florida. That made a whole new section of the park open to foot traffic, which has always been an issue in Fantasyland because everybody's got, you want to bring kids there. You've got strollers. Yeah, you got stroller parking. You've got everything there, and you don't want to ruin it for your kids, but you don't know if you're going to be back there in a few years. So I understand the motivation that has a lot of people going there. So that is, they put a lot of thought into a lot of the traffic control and bottlenecking, and it's kind of like what we were talking about with DragonCon. It's like, well, we did eventually have to move up. It's not because we don't love the art show, because that's how we've gotten started there for like 15 years, but we need to make it available for everybody, and so people don't get ran over. That's probably not the right word for it.
You can also get the gray stuff at the Rose Tavern in Fantasyland in California.
In California, yeah. Oh, and you can get, what is that sandwich we got? That was like a cauliflower steak sandwich in California a year before last.
Gosh, I don't remember.
Yeah, it was a Mediterranean cauliflower steak sandwich. And it was a cauliflower steak. It was like the middle part of a cauliflower, like buzzsawed across and roasted. It was very good. And it was Indian spiced. It was very tasty.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Is Le Mystère du Nautilus Disneyland Paris as cool as the pics?
It's pretty cool. Yeah, I liked it. I'm a big Jules Verne fan, and that was a good thing to go look at. It's also very good if you're there on a day when it's not super crowded and it's like, hey, I've got 10 minutes. Where can I go that's air conditioned? That's a good place to go. And the wonderful, wonderful, wonderful octopus squid nautilus thing that shows up, that is great, and the special effects on it are wonderful, and they are still good no matter how much time goes by. It's like, oh, octopus, I love you, thank you for being my friend. And yeah, did you like that part, Manny?
Yes. Sassy says, I'm excited just for being down there, and I finally get to go to Wonder Gallery and Pop Stores.
Oh, yeah.
I want to say thank you, Jasmine, for the wonderful Madame Leota print.
Oh.
I need to find your frame to sit between my bride prints.
Oh, that's a good point. You don't want to just all bride all the way. You want to mix it up with Madame Leota.
Yeah, Steve says it's very steampunky.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing at Disneyland in Paris.
And also
Tomorrowland.
Tokyo
Disney Sea. Yeah, Disney Sea is pretty fantastic. Actually, when I was there in California doing some of the event things for the Haunted Mansion, there were a handful of cast members who were there visiting from Disney Sea mostly, or from Tokyo Disneyland, or from Hong Kong, or from Shanghai. We had a lot of Asian visitors there who were like workers who were there, and yeah, that seemed to be a thing to talk about. So.
Yeah, that's the most crowded I've ever seen a Disney park was Saturday at Disneyland Tokyo.
Oh, Disneyland Tokyo, yeah. How many rides do we get to go on, Maddie?
2.
What were they, Maddie?
Now, see, I always forget the first one.
Mark
Twain.
Baby. Yeah.
And
it had a scary person named Geppetto.
Oh, yeah. Pinocchio.
Yeah.
That's what we get. Yep. Mark Twain.
Mark Twain and Geppetto.
It was so crowded, people were just like sitting on the ground.
Well, yeah, and that was a thing to do there. So, yeah, that was kind of... It was a cultural experience.
Then we went another time, and it was a lot better.
Yeah, I've been there since then. It was just specifically, it was on a weekend, and we did not anticipate going there. It wasn't like I planned it ahead of time, saying, "Oh, we're gonna go to Fantasyland. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do this." And it's like, "Hey, we're in Tokyo. We can go an hour and a half on the train, and we can make it there. You want to go? Why not go look at it?" And we did and we did, and that was actually a lot of fun. It was one of the more fun days I've had at Disney, even though it was very
it was a spectacle.
It was a spectacle, but
do you think the longest line we've ever had to stand in was Versailles though?
Yeah, well, you mean you and me, or what
yeah,
do you mean?
You and me together standing in
like
line.
on a vacation?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. As far as vacations go, yeah, I would say our trip to Versailles and oh golly, it would have been August of 2017. 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. 2017 August, right? My parents were there, or my dad and my stepmom were there. Yeah, that was yeah. You know when you go somewhere and it says it may be up to 3 hours, that it's really going to be 5.5 hours, and it's somewhere you've been before, so you know how long you have to walk to get up to a certain doorway. That was kind of what happened. But if that is the only time you might happen to be there, which might be, I mean, it's the first time at least that my parents were there, that kind of made sense. So it's not like we were gonna go somewhere else.
But don't go when we went if you can't.
Yeah, don't. August.
We were in the springtime once too.
What's that?
We were in the springtime once, weren't we?
We have been there in the spring. Yeah, that wasn't super crowded though. It wasn't like you had to wait for hours to get in. We actually, that time was a good time to go in there. We were at the end of March. Yeah, when the Froggies were there.
It could have been.
Yeah. Yeah, that holds up, right? It could have been. Okay. But yeah, we went there and that was a good time to visit. And you could kind of walk through all the houses and see Mama's little house and all that sort of thing. It was lovely. But yeah, when I took my parents there, it was like to get into the entryway, even though we had bought, tickets online 3 months ahead of time or whatever, it was still around 5 hours. And you say 5 hours and that sounds like a lot, but stand there for 5 hours and look at the same brochure for 5 hours. It seems like a job that nobody would have asked you to sign up for. But if that's the only time you might go there, then that's you know,
and then but
worth the
it
wait.
was all forgiven after we got inside.
Once we got in there, it was pretty great. Yeah. And they had Angelina's chocolate in there. They did not sponsor this broadcast, but we keep bringing them up apparently.
Angelina's
yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yep.
Got about 2 more minutes to raffle.
Scheisse. Okay. Sorry. Let me show you guys what
Jasmine wants a Shasta.
Pardon?
I'll go get her a Shasta. I think that's what she was asking.
Pardon?
Didn't you just say Shasta?
9. Anyways, here's my dice. Still painting lovelies. And I'm going to stay up all night and keep painting this. If I could keep broadcasting past 3 hours on Twitch, I would do so. But there are various legal reasons why I can't. But you can just pretend I've been painting all this time. And for those of you who are interested in the original painting, there are like 4 of you I will keep painting. And I will show you on Patreon when I am done. Before I bring it to DragonCon. I don't know, and probably not Maddie, that we will have prints available at DragonCon because you have to leave
yeah,
day after tomorrow, and the painting will probably be too wet, and I probably should have done this earlier because I started years ago. But when it is done, we will have prints and canvases at strangeling.com available worldwide. In the meantime, we will have the one that I was painting last weekend, which I somehow finished and did another painting too, of my Ninja Dragonlings 3, and that will be a painting that we have canvases and prints of at DragonCon. Will be on the third story, whatever that means, of America's Mart will be there. Matt's got the numbers, or just Google Jasmine Beckett, whatever, and DragonCon Floor 3, America's Mart. I'll be there. Yeah.
You think they'll have any of the ninjas at Ren Fair? The new ninja?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. I think Amber will have them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if anybody has a specific request for the Renaissance Festival in Kansas City, for those who don't know, it opens the same weekend as the DragonCon.
But she lives in town, so she doesn't have to travel.
Yeah, that's what. No, I'm explaining to people why everybody's like, "Why aren't you at the Ren Fair on the opening weekend?" It's because I'm at DragonCon. DragonCon's one weekend. It's in Atlanta. It's the same Labor Day weekend that the Ren Fair in Kansas City is. So my sister Amber and her family run the Ren Fair in Kansas City. And if you have a specific question like, hey, can I get this as a 10 by 10 canvas? Email Amber, A-M-B-E-R, at Strangeling. And don't say strangling. That's like choking somebody. Don't say that. It's S-T-R-A-N-G-E, like strange, ling, L-I-N-G.com. And you can say, hey, Amber, what's that one dice painting with the dragons and whatever? You can figure that out, and she'll make sure she has it for you, and it will be there in Kansas City. So, but don't go to strangling other whatevers, and don't look at it. It's awful.
So
was that magic noise? Like a
Nikki of Hawaii won our the last pin.
Oh, is it a pin?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. And is it
Karen Jamison.
So Nikki has won Karen and Shamison. Yay! Again, I think she might be the most. I don't know if it's better up on this one. It's hard to tell. Oh, it's on that one.
Oh,
can't really see
Nikki hasn't won yet. Yay!
Oh, it's the first time they won! Yay! Well, thank you, Nikki. But yeah, she's the third of the DragonCon pins that we're giving away, and the most detailed, I think, too. I don't know how good this shows up, like on the TV, but even the little dragon has little spots on them. And
people are really wanting this one.
Yeah, I know.
They're excited.
I think I lose $8 every time somebody gets this pin for free. It's kind of amazing, but you guys hang in there, and you like my artwork, so it's worth it. But yeah, and she's got a fancy little kimono, little shamisen, and also the lotus blossoms on her. I kind of continued that, and that's a little bit different from the painting.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I've got like 4 types of fabric in there. It's the sort of thing that I would notice, and I don't know if anybody else would, but thank you if you do. It's a cool one to get. So, and I will probably see some of you at DragonCon.
Yeah, a decent amount.
Next I mean, it's not even next
Friday.
weekend. It's Friday. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh gosh, Friday. And if I don't see you then, if you aren't going to be in Georgia, I will be here, like in Florida, the subsequent weekend. So not next weekend, but the one after that. That'd be like the 8th, I think, right? Yeah, the 8th, Sunday.
Give me a sec.
Well, I know on
Yes, you're correct.
because September 7th I'll be at the Pop Gallery for my Alice in Wonderland coloring book that is coming out the weekend after DragonCon. Oh golly, I'm busy. Okay.
Exciting.
And we've got a cool pin that's coming out for that too. A lot of people have asked about that. If you know my painting Alice in the Fawn, it's like Alice holding a baby deer, which is adorable. And every house we have somehow has baby deer living in the back of it, which is adorable. And that is a good representation.
Yeah, we saw a deer not too long ago.
Yeah, I was telling my mom, she's like, I didn't know deer lived here. I'm like, there's deer right there by our stairs. Why didn't you see that? But anyways, beautiful baby deer, Alice holding a baby deer. It's very cute. It's from the Alice original book, and yeah, the Lewis Carroll story. So that will be on September 7th at the Pop Gallery at Disney Springs here in Florida. And if you don't see us before then, you will see us shortly thereafter, and I'll have pins and or prints of that, and also the coloring book, which doesn't technically come out until this fall, but you might be able to find it online somewhere. Search Jasmine Becket-Griffith and Alice coloring book. You will be able to find it somewhere. It comes out in Australia first because Australia. That's enough reason, right? Because Australia. You can hashtag that. That's our publishers they're in Australia, and they do a wonderful job. They do, and they come out there before they come out here in Florida. Like, I don't have it, but Australia. Why does New Zealand get it before I do? Because Australia. So.
Cool.
There you go.
Alrighty, we will see you guys later.
We'll see you guys. If we don't see you in DragonCon, we will see you the week after. So 2 weeks from today, we'll see you here at Twitch, if not before. Thanks, guys.